Yo, what's going on, you guys?
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you all won.
Hopefully.
I certainly didn't in a couple of areas, but that's okay. Hopefully, most importantly, we helped you win. So, John, why don't we get right into this?
Yes,
'Cause
sir.
I do see some questions.
Yes,
adding
sir.
into
What's
the
going on,
chat.
Mac Young? What's going on,
What's going
Thomas
on, Mac?
Gage?
Yeah,
What's going on, Fortune
everybody?
West Music?
I see
What's
Mac, I see
up?
Thomas, Brett, Fortune West.
Forsett?
I see everybody. What's going on, everybody?
All right, yeah, let's get to this first question. Well, boom, Mac is back. Yes, Mac is back. First in the chat. This OBJ and Julio situation really blows. Yes, it does. May end up flexing Ertz and Ramondre Stevenson over them both this week, even if they turn up healthy. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Beckham's going to play. It doesn't sound good. This whole Browns offense might not play as far as the regular starters go.
Even if
Julio,
OBJ is a start, fully healthy, I don't know if he's a start over. Probably some of the people
not at this
people
point.
are rostering have on their bench. So yeah.
Yeah, like Julio with another the hamstring injury. The vibes are like I can't feel good about that
Right.
off the top of the week. So yeah, Ertz. I mean, Houston's giving up tons of points to the tight end position, and Ramondre looked solid. Caught a nice pass. Want to go for like 30 yards or more coming out of the backfield. So yeah, absolutely.
Both of those guys are risky though, because I mean Ertz is going to be brand new to the offense, and
sure,
we've seen
yeah.
the kind of workload that caliber of tight end gets to when they get brought to a new offense. We saw Dan Arnold get catch two passes for 26 yards in his first outing. So that might be what you're working with Ertz, considering they do have a ton of other weapons there, and we never know when it's going to be a Brandon Bolden week. So you got to watch out with Ramondre Stevenson. But
they'll simplify the playbook for Ertz. He'll probably, only play a handful of snaps, right? But it's like, okay, this is easy. This is just like, do this. There's nothing complicated.
Right.
But again, it's a phenomenal matchup. If you're going to play Ertz one more week the rest of the year, this is the week.
True.
It's also a DeAndre Hopkins revenge game, which I know he was brought up in the chat, but let's keep it moving. I like this question from Mark. Is Donovan Peoples-Jones a good waiver wire pickup? I like this because it seems so easy, but I don't think he's going to be viable for like that long. He's fine for week 7. I'm a little worried about this Browns offense as a whole because not only are you looking at Chubb and Hunt are definitely out.
Right.
Landry is probably definitely out. And Odell
trending towards that way. Yep.
And Odell is looking like even if he suits up, it's not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
On top of all of that, Baker Mayfield's dealing with a shoulder. Like that was a nasty shoulder injury that he suffered. He's taking it day by day. I don't even think he's 100% cleared to play yet. Like this whole Browns offense might be a whole lot of schlop. To that point, the Broncos are top 5 in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. So if you think
this
that
is a team that doesn't pass. They're 27th, right? They're ranked 27th in passing plays per game as far as the Cleveland Browns. And
they might run even more.
They're first in rushing.
Even goes.
They're gonna continue to rush. That's their strength. And if they're banged up at wide receiver, they're gonna go to their tight ends. They have not shied away from using their tight ends this year. I think it's a big plus to David Njoku over Donovan Peoples-Jones or anything like that. So if you're gonna go out and get Donovan Peoples-Jones, I might throw out, maybe if Njoku was out there, it might.
I was gonna say less than 10% of your FOB for Peoples-Jones, like less than 10%, maybe like 5 to 7% on Peoples-Jones. Maybe you just need a wide receiver, or you're looking to stream a wide receiver. I think he's a decent, not great flyer for this week, and then after that, that's it. That's the thing, because Odell is going to come back, and Landry is going to come back. Decent spot start Thursday night, but there's a lot of downside, and I don't think it's a long-term investment. So like 5% of your FOB budget, 7% of your FOB budget, like okay, but I wouldn't go higher than that, even though it feels like it's an obvious play week. I see the logic behind it. It's not something I'm not going down that path.
And that's why if you're looking for a flex option, and if you have a need at tight end, I am going to hammer David Njoku here because he's going to be a value for the rest of the season. It's not just this is a guy that's going to be playing for 1 week or 2 weeks while OBJ and Landry are out and while both running backs are out. Because we've seen Njoku have boom weeks in this offense with other options in this offense all the way healthy. So I will just throw that in there. But if you're looking for a wide receiver specifically, yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones for this week should be all right. Thomas Gage, Julio, and Gaskin for Monty, a fair trade.
Yeah, if you're getting Monty, yeah.
I think so. If
you're getting Monty, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll keep talking about it until I speak it into existence or if it blows up in my face. I love Montgomery as a buy low.
And I agree.
While he's hurt because his second half schedule is awesome.
And yeah, Julio, question mark with this hamstring injury and just being 31 years old and playing on a new team that he hasn't quite fit in with,
I love that package, Thomas. Yeah, if you can make that happen.
And Gaskin, he had one big week this year, and that's about it. So yeah, great trade for you. If you can get Monty. If you have Monty and that's what you're being offered, absolutely not. No.
Monty is the one you want. Yes.
Yep. Mac Young, is Felton even worth a snag?
Ooh, okay, so we're kind of at odds on this.
We are.
John and I. John prefers D'Ernest Johnson. I think Demetric Felton is the sneaky better ad. But John, I'll give you the floor if you want, because you were just talking to the point about the Browns' ability to run the ball and how they're first in rushing. So, are you going to? I'm not trying to steal your thunder. Are you parlaying that into why you like D'Ernest Johnson this week?
No, I do like D'Ernest Johnson more this week than Demetric Felton, and I'm willing to stick my flag there. We can come back next week and see who wins this battle here. But yeah, okay. I think the number one waiver wire ad, if you're gonna look for an option in the Cleveland Browns backfield or in their offense in general, I think it's D'Ernest Johnson.
You think it's Johnson?
Yep.
So here's why I think Felton is he even worth a snag? Yeah, I think he is even worth a snag, Mac, because Kareem Hunt is gonna miss. The timeline's updated out to 4 to 6 weeks. What's expected? So yeah, is he even worth a look? Absolutely. More than is it worth I know what you're talking about. Is it should I even pay any attention? Yes. Kareem Hunt is out for 4 to 6 weeks. And they utilize their running backs heavily, not just running it, but throwing the ball to them. Kareem Hunt is an excellent pass catching back out of the backfield, and that's how they use him. Felton has wide receiver skills. He's got dual eligibility for fantasy purposes. He's gonna get used.
I don't think he has wide receiver skills. I think he is a wide receiver. I do not think he's much of a running back. I think the fact that they haven't used him through the rushing game at all this year, in any other games through the season, speaks to that. They've used him in the receiving game, and they will continue to use him in the receiving game. And his upside here comes in the fact that both Landry and OBJ look to be out for another week. So if you need a spot start, Demetric Felton has that wide receiver running back eligibility. So that's enticing. Am I trusting a pass catcher in this offense whose highlight game on the year is a game in which he caught two passes on 2 targets for 51 yards and a touchdown? That's the kind of what you're hoping for again.
It feels like it's a bit of a Hail Mary.
He's worth a snag. Yeah, but yeah, I think that D'Ernest Johnson is the way to go if you're going for the volume role, because he's going to get all the work on the ground for the number one rushing team in the NFL for at least 1 week. Now, and I think when Nick Chubb comes back, I think that he steps into that number 2 role, which is we've seen in this offense with Kareem Hunt is still very valuable. He's not going to get that passing down work that Kareem Hunt gets, but he's going to be the RB2 in this offense, and he's going to get work. He's going to get work. The RB2 in this offense gets 10 rushes on the ground. maybe a couple of passes thrown his way. And we saw last year in the game after he was the lead back in week 4 when he had 13 rushes for 94 yards, I believe. He only had 8 rushes on the ground, but he contributed most through the air. So they did use D'Ernest Johnson in a pass-catching role with Kareem Hunt as the number 1 back. So when Chubb comes back, I would expect him to be used in the Kareem Hunt role, still valuable for the next 6 weeks.
Okay. I think both of them are going to be heavily utilized Thursday night, given the lack of other weapons that are expected to suit up for the Browns. I think they're both going to be utilized.
Yep, I do too.
And I think that makes them both viable. If you want to give the nod to Johnson because of the volume, I'll just say that the matchup does not favor the run, but obviously the Browns run the ball better than anybody. So there's a bit of a their capabilities on offense kind of negate the concern about the matchup. But I think they're both like worth rostering through the Thursday night game just to see how things play out.
But yeah, Thomas, I'm with you. I'd rather have D'Ernest. And Fortune, what's going on, bro? What's popping? Keely got a show tonight. Good luck, Keely, with your show. If he has you on speaker or something, I don't know.
If you're listening.
If you're listening by yourself, Corey, tell her we say good luck and stuff, and we wish we were there. Flex start Ramondre, Devontae Booker, or Jamal Williams.
So I meant to look at this. Who did the Patriots play?
I do not know.
Okay.
I don't have that up. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so Jamal Williams. Oh, they're playing the Jets. Probably Ramondre Stevenson. Jamal Williams completely tanked for the first time this year, where he really did nothing. The Giants get the Panthers, and Devontae Booker. Well, the Giants in general didn't get anything going against the Rams, but that's another tough matchup. The Panthers are a pretty good defense.
I think I'm going to go Devontae Booker. He's going to have the number 1 role to himself.
Yeah, he will.
That's all and that's what I'm chasing. Out of those 3 backs, I want the guy that has the biggest role. And with Ramondre, we're never sure if it's going to be a Brandon Bolden week or he's going to bring JJ Taylor out from the doghouse or something, anything. We're never sure. It could be the week that Damian Harris just comes back after a decent week last week and just takes all the touches. We're not sure. The one thing we can be sure of with Devontae Booker is he might have a rough matchup, but he's going to get all the work while Saquon is out. So I'm going Devontae Booker.
I was trying to look and see what Saquon's status is. It's highly likely he misses this game, but he hasn't totally been ruled out. That matchup against the Jets is pretty. I think it's a little too early at this point to do the start sits. A little early. I'm just not a believer in Devontae Booker. I'm inclined to say Ramondre
in a guy getting number 1 RB touches. That's what I'm a fan of. If you've been listening to this live stream for a while, you know how I feel about Devontae Booker. But touches.
Yeah.
Devontae Booker.
I think we got to come back to that one later in the week. I'm not sold on Booker. Even though he's getting the volume, I'm just not sold.
Fair. Brett Forseth, what's going on? I was wrong about DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I was worried about the Cardinals in general in this matchup.
Future Hall of Famer still in his prime. He's good when he has low targets. He's usually the best player on the field when he's on the field. He's that guy.
He's just a beast.
Yeah.
He's just a beast. I was worried about Arizona on the road in a tough matchup. There were predictions going into the game that the weather wasn't going to be good. As it turns out, it held off. But I can't sit Hopkins. I can't bring myself to do it. Even he could have a strain of bad games all year. If I'm in the fantasy championship and he's like been a wide receiver 4 on the year, I'm still starting DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, you got to go back to that well. You have to.
Yeah. Same with Derrick Henry. So sorry, Thomas said Henry crushed his dreams. Yeah, he probably broke the spirits of a lot of people last night.
That's
you're up
what he does. We're watching
you're up 35, 40 points.
This guy is a Hall of Famer. We're watching a Hall of Famer in his prime from the running back position, which you don't see very often in today's NFL. He's just a complete outlier, and it's incredible to watch him. Yeah,
he's amazing. It's amazing to watch him do what he does. Yeah. I've been wrong about him for like the 3rd year in a row now.
Yeah, me too.
I won't make that same mistake.
He is the outlier, man. That's the 1% of the 1%. He's the outlier. And at this point, you can't count him out ever until he falters. And even then, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt, because at this point, we can't keep talking about he's got 400 touches. We can't.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
It just doesn't matter.
Streak, what's going on? What can I get out of Sutton? Full PPR.
Running backs are Derrick Henry and Chris Carson, so that's not good. And he has Patterson. Which player should I try getting in this? At this point, I don't know if you can trade Patterson. Well, especially with Chris Carson, who I'm not sure he plays again this year.
Right, but you should be trying to sell Chris Carson to somebody who believes that he comes back for the playoff run. If you can sell somebody on, if you're valuing David Montgomery like this, you should be valuing Chris Carson like this. If you can sell him on that, then I would try to package Sutton,
Chris Carson and a wide receiver.
Yeah, Sutton and Chris Carson for what? What do you think?
David Montgomery and a good, healthy wide receiver. I wasn't going to include Sutton. I was just going to say Carson and like a wide receiver 3 that you might have.
Well, he says, what can I get out of Sutton full PPR? So I figure if you package
if you're
Sutton with Chris Carson to get somebody to pair with Derrick Henry and a good wide receiver, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, David like Montgomery. I mean, I would need like a if I was giving up Sutton, my first thought goes to like a Hollywood Brown, because it's like my injured running back for your injured running back, but I'm giving you a good wide receiver in return. Like, so give me a good receiver in return.
Right.
Something like that. But if you're trading Patterson, then it's like at this point I need,
I would try
a running back who's better than him.
I wouldn't try to trade Patterson in your situation. I believe I would hold.
Nah. And if nobody's biting on Chris Carson, which is totally possible, you have 9 other people, 11 other people, however big your league is, all saying no on Chris Carson, and you're trying to trade Patterson and Sutton, then I need like a Kamara, an Eckler.
Yeah, you getting
I need
Zeke?
somebody. Yeah, right.
Like
am I getting an anchor at running back? Am I getting a stud? Like, that's when that comes into play. So yeah.
No, I'd keep riding Derrick Henry and Patterson and try to get rid of Carson and Sutton in a deal and get something back nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big if, but yeah.
Yep. Hobo Fraggins, what's going on?
What's up, Hobo Fraggins?
Yes, sir. Should I get Darnell Mooney off waivers and replace AJ Green, knowing Ertz may take some of his potential targets?
Go figure. AJ Green has been healthy this year. First of all, if you can get Mooney on your team, I mean, he had another touchdown this week.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't think the Ertz coming into the situation is going to affect much, because we saw what AJ Green was doing. He's basically been good for 6 targets a game, something like that. Exactly. I think it's 6 targets a game exactly for like 5 straight games, and that was with Max Williams in the fold. So I don't think AJ Green's role is going to change much, even with Ertz in the fold. But I would go Mooney. I would go Mooney there over AJ Green. Yeah. Mac
Yeah, I'm
Young,
good with that.
love it. Ooh, yeah. Got to take
take
on
Rashad
Penny. Yeah. I was thinking of doing a video on him pretty soon.
You're gonna have to.
I was gonna call it the value of a penny. I was gonna be clever, but
Look at you being smart. So Penny,
first round pedigree. I don't know if he's can get past the injuries.
I can't. I have been on the Rashad Penny train for like 3 years running. I can't get on board. I can't.
Yeah.
The injuries have piled up. It hasn't even been like he's looked decent on the field, like here and there, but it's been so long since I feel like I've seen him play.
Spot starts that he made, or not even spot starts, in the situations in
like
which he played last season,
he
had like a 3.2 yards per carry average last season when he played. So, and I know that's straight off the injury, first playing time back, but I just. Is that electricity it's sapped? I think we have to ask that question, and that's what we were betting on with Rashad Penny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's there anymore. But if he's gonna get the majority of the work, does it even matter? Because I could say the same thing about Alex Collins. I could have said the exact same thing about Alex Collins. Not that he'd been ravaged by injury, but just like he's an old dude he's a has-been. There's no way he's going to be fantasy relevant in 2021. And then lo and behold, he's the number one running back for the Seattle Seahawks, and he's fantasy relevant. So could I be saying the same thing about Rashad Penny? Possibly. But I'm not chasing the talent because I don't know if he can hold up on the field.
I'll let somebody else be the beneficiary of if it works out. I can't bring myself to do it. Like in shallow leagues, right? In 10, 12 team leagues, there's not a guy I want to cut for him.
Hey, if you can throw out a third round pick in Dynasty or something to get Rashad Penny, sure.
Fine.
I say, you know what? Do it. Try it. Why not? He's 25 years old. Give it a shot. Gonna be a free agent next season. Maybe he puts some good tape on the field for a coach next season, and he gets a number one role somewhere. I don't know. Stranger things have happened, but outside of that situation in dynasty leagues, I'm not looking at Rashad Penny.
No.
I liked him coming out a lot. I liked him a lot 2 years ago. I liked him a lot last year. I'm with you.
In the pre-draft process, a lot of people had him pegged as a third round pick. The Seahawks took him in the first round because I think they didn't have like a round pick that year, or maybe not a third round pick that year as well. So like they identified him, but it felt like a reach of a pick then. I still got excited about the talent and the opportunity.
Yep.
And it didn't work out. I think they made a clear and obvious mistake taking him there, and I think all of my expectations are just out the window at this point. I got burned a million times. If I get burned again by not picking him up this time, then
I think it's the fact that we've just been continuously been strung along. We've gotten fatigued by the fact that he's been on the verge of coming back for sorry about that.
I can't
helicopter on the verge of coming back for 3 years now. I know he's been injured for 3 years, but he's been on the verge of coming back for two whole seasons. So I don't know.
I can't do it.
Nope.
Brett, a lot of left tackles were injured this week. Yeah, they were. The Taylor Lewan injury Monday night looked kind of nasty.
Yeah, that was a scary one.
That looks kind of nasty. I hope he's okay. I didn't see the Ronnie Stanley injury, but I know he was placed on injured reserve. He's done for the year. So that's a huge loss to what the Ravens do on offense. And Andrew Thomas got hurt.
Yep.
So, Baltimore, with Tennessee, just first, obviously you hope Taylor Lewan is okay, but Derrick Henry, it makes it work with, I guess, whoever's in front of him. I
I'm
wouldn't
not
be too
worried about
Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
I'm not worried about Derrick Henry.
I mean, maybe it probably hurts Ryan Tannehill and the passing game more than it hurts Derrick Henry.
I think they'll have to keep tight end in to block more. We saw that last.
Yeah.
They lost us starting with tight end and had to move to rotational tight ends. They had to bring in Jonnu Smith to block, which is why in week 3 or week 4, his production tailed off. Because he had a hot start to 2020 and then it tailed off. And it directly correlated with one of their linemen going down. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Baltimore, I mean, Lamar is excellent enough and is playing at such a high level right now where I think Lamar can overcome this.
It doesn't matter for Lamar.
I think Lamar can overcome this. And then with the Giants, I mean, it was ugly. It was ugly on Sunday. I'm not sure. Andrew Thomas has been better. I'm not sure it matters much. Like this no. They need their pieces back. They need Saquon back. They need Kenny. They somehow, some way, they need Kenny Golladay to find a way to get healthy.
They need Kadarius Toney back. I mean,
they need Toney back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot working against the Giants right now. It's just not a good team.
Streak, you got another. And this is an extended trade question from that last one. Sutton and CPAT for Corey Davis and Corey Davis for Kamara.
I think that's too much. That's too much.
If it was Sutton and CPAT, then maybe, but with Corey, that's a little too much.
If you're
even though Corey Davis
Sutton
hasn't had a ton of explosion this year. From the fantasy.
That's a 3-for-1.
Yeah, that's where. I mean, could you do CPAT and Corey Davis? Keep Sutton.
Yeah, Patterson is pretty close.
I'd almost rather keep those players.
Keep that collection.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it from the other way around. If I had Kamara right now and I could get Cordarrelle Patterson, not Cordero, Cordero. Cortland Sutton and Corey Davis for Kamara, I'd be like, I'm making out pretty good.
It's a lot. It's a lot of pieces for one guy. As excellent as Kamara is, it's a lot of pieces for one guy. And Patterson at this point, I mean, is an RB1 until further notice. So.
Yep. Thomas Gage, is it Bipocalypse or Bimageddon?
Yeah, it's just
your preference, bro.
It's Bimania.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. It's a
struggle, man. It's a struggle.
This
is when you got to start the people that you drafted in the last round. This is when you got to start the people that you picked up on waivers yesterday. So
it's gut check time. This is it's like how good were you in the draft? How good were you in the draft?
Particularly where team management comes into play, because I mean. Even by week 6, half of your bench has been churned, even with the best teams. So thanks, Bender. What's going on? How you doing?
What's up, Bender? And Iron. What's going on, Iron?
Yo, what's going on, Iron?
Yeah, I mean, it's gut check time.
Yep.
Week 7.
Stoner Simpson, what's going on? Start Nyheim Hines or Demetric Felton this week? I think it's Nyheim Hines.
Who are the Colts playing?
I don't think it's that close. I think it's Nyheim Hines. I think you're hoping Demetric Felton turns into Nyheim Hines. So
I mean, I'm not. Hines has had 2 good weeks, and in a great matchup last week, he had 4 carries for 13 yards, and he caught 1 9-yard pass.
Yeah, but I'm not
this week they go on the road.
They go on the road
to San Francisco. I guess Hines is a little more viable on the road against San Francisco. That's an aggressive defense. Yeah, I'll say Hines. I would say Hines there.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't think it's a runaway, but I guess I would go Hines. A little bit feels like his role is a little bit safer, a little bit more locked in.
Yeah, it's not
Felton
really
is a
even
wild
that hard
card
of a
for now.
decision for me. I'm going Hines all day. Stephen Mall, best waiver move: Jarrett Patterson, Corey Davis, Kenyon Drake, Rashad Penny, or Henry Ruggs.
Ruggs.
I think you go Ruggs there out of all those
Ruggs
guys.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean Ruggs looks like
Prior to
Ruggs,
the season, I probably would have said Corey Davis, but you got to go Ruggs there.
Ruggs got better.
Yeah.
After a not good rookie year, Ruggs improved. He looks much better. He looks good. He's an integral part of the Raiders offense and what they want to do on a week-to-week basis. Ruggs.
Yeah. I mean, we've been advocates for Ruggs for the past few weeks, and it's continued to pay off. And I think it continues to pay off. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really not Bryan Edwards, and I wish it was. For one of my dynasty leagues, I wish it was, but it's not Edwards.
He had a nice catch and run. He had one nice catch and run
in the fourth quarter. In the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, that's when they realized that Bryan Edwards exists, and they use him. That's his only role. His only role.
Still happened.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, but Ruggs is the team's number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
And looks good doing it.
Yep. But we hope that helps, Steven. Thanks for joining us in the chat.
Yeah,
Iron Never Lies. What is poppin', bro? Should I trade Fant and Mooney for Goddard and a third-round pick?
No.
I would not do that.
No.
I wouldn't.
Keep Fant and Mooney.
I'm not chasing Goddard right now.
Nah.
I'm not.
Fant. I like Fant better than Goddard anyway. And
RAS wise, they're both above 9, so you know how I feel about them. They're equitable.
But Mooney is not
a third round pick.
No, that's a loss. That'd be a loss. Nah, nope. Keep Fant and Mooney.
Yep.
Keep Fant and Mooney.
Bender, thank you for joining us as always.
Wipe your feet, people.
Good job on your win. That Knox to Allen 2-point conversion was pretty wild. But
there better not be there's no stat corrections at this point.
No.
I mean,
you would have seen them this morning.
They would have been They would have been this morning when it would be complete.
Yep. Chris M7 was popping, bro. Yo, glad you just got off work.
Yeah.
Hope you can relax a little bit.
Always good. Yeah. Kick your shoes off, maybe pour yourself a little cocktail. The NBA is back tonight. I don't know if anybody else cares about that. Little basketball tonight to start holding us over until football starts, or
there's some hockey out there too.
There's some hockey fans too, yeah. So the October's in full swing. This is always a good month of the year.
Yes, sir. Someone say it's elite. I love this weather. It's great. Tamian Baskerov, what's going on, bro? I think this is the first time we've seen you in the chat, so welcome. Pittman, Felton, Shepard, Harris, drop one this week. Felton.
Which Harris? Not Damian Harris. Is there another Harris?
I'm sure there is in the NFL, but I would still say Felton.
It's Felton. I mean, if you have to drop a player depending on who you're looking at on waivers, then it's Felton. Who are you looking? Who are you looking at picking up, or is there somebody on IR you need to activate?
Or is this the situation where you have like a defense you want to continue to ride for the rest of the season, but they're on bye or something?
Yeah. What's the situation?
Yep. And Thomas Gage, you're right, but
I know.
If we're talking about the wide receivers, then the number one is Henry Ruggs.
I'm talking. I trust me. I didn't forget about Darren Waller. The number one wide receiver by the position is Ruggs. Waller is the top option in the passing game.
Ooh, it's Hunter Renfrow.
Shut up. Although he's been solid this year. So somebody's coming off IR. I mean, then Felton.
Hey Bender, thank you so much, bro. Every time, bro. Like seriously,
that's too
far
kind.
too kind.
Too kind.
But I appreciate your support in supporting the channel every week, bro. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. If you got any questions, Bender, throw them in the chat. You already know.
Yeah, let us know.
Iron Never Lies. Hey, we hope that helps.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, I mean, if you got Fant and Mooney, I'd roll with Fant and Mooney.
Yeah, keep those guys.
Tamian, also, is it bad to have 4 Bills players on if my team is struggling with injuries and there aren't many good options?
No. Here.
I know
So
they're on. I know they're on bye this week.
they're all on bye this week. I mean, here's the thing. There's a couple variables that are here at play. So one, that makes a guy like Felton droppable if you're activating somebody this week who is like a no-brainer must start. Who's coming up, John? Who's coming off IR? That would be. I mean, I can't think of it. Maybe no, not McCaffrey. He was put on IR. Yeah. Who are you trying to? Actually, I'm curious, Tamian. Who are you trying to activate? Because it sounds like you got a lot of people on bye this week. So, you want to make sure you have all options available to you as far as starters go. But yeah, let us know. Because Felton, again, he would be the drop of those 4, depending on who it is that you're activating. But if you're in a pinch because you have a ton of guys on the same team and their bye is this week, therefore it's like you're like, I don't know who I'm going to start. This week.
Depending on who they are.
You could do worse than it's a Hail Mary in Felton, but I think he's going to be involved this week.
I do too, but if I'm choosing between those players, it's Felton.
I just want to know who's. I'm trying to jog my brain right now. Who can come off IR? Because it's not Nick Chubb. He can stay on IR.
It's not Jarvis Landry. We don't think he's playing this week.
Yeah. I don't know who I don't know who it could be. But anyway, yeah, let us know.
Sorry,
what?
Guys.
Did you lose your spot again?
No, the chat just the whole stream just I messed everything up. Technology, you can't trust me.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
So Thomas at 12-team PPR. Sometimes this just sucks. 700, over 700 points, 1-5. The number 1 team only has like 5 or 6 more points than that. Yeah, I mean, this is the way the cookie freaking crumbles sometimes, man. It sucks. Bender, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you soon, man. But
yeah, hey, thanks.
Yeah, to me, Thomas, that's a situation where you keep the faith. Like, you don't blow your team up because you're not that far from first place. You've just had crap luck. Like, in that scenario, there's still enough time to turn things around. It might not feel like it. It's a pain in the ass right now. I understand. Like, I know I've been there. I'm in a league right now where it's like it's not a very serious league, but like it's like standard scoring, like 2 wide receivers you start. Like it's tough to make those calls. I'm 1-5, and I think I have like the 5th most points. So it's like it's annoying, right? You have to deal with crap like that, but your fortunes can still turn around. It's not a bad team. It's just been an unlucky team. Yeah, It's just been unlucky, which you have no control over that. At the end of the day, we have no control over that.
It happens in the NFL. We saw last night.
It does happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Mac Young, would you try and trade for Miles Sanders buying low, hoping they turn to more? Yeah, I mean,
more to the run for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I mean, if
you can get him for a bag of chips, then sure.
I think his value is the lowest it's gonna go, and I think his value is the lowest of anybody projected to be at least a mid-tier RB2 at the beginning of the season. So if you're trying to buy low on a running back, then this is not a bad running back to do it for theoretically, but do we project Miles Sanders to pick up for the rest of the season? I have my doubts.
I mean, they get Lane Johnson back.
As an owner of him, I'd be trying to sell if he has a good game. So that's not somebody I'm chasing, even though he's technically a buy low. It's not that I don't think he's good. That offense is just not firing. And it's clear that the coaching staff doesn't want to run the ball.
I'll just throw a name out there. That was brought up in the chat earlier. Darnell Mooney. If somebody offered you like Darnell Mooney for Miles Sanders, would you take it?
It depends on what kind of league.
But you're the fact that you're not. It's not a hard no.
Right. Yeah.
That's all. I'll just throw like a Darnell Mooney. Or Henry Ruggs for Miles Sanders. I think I'd rather have Ruggs.
I would do that.
You would take Ruggs.
Yes.
Like if somebody, yes. See, if somebody sold, like, I'll give you Ruggs for Miles Sanders. See, so like that's where we're at with him. There's a lot of things working against Miles Sanders right now. The workload is not there. The Eagles as a team are not very good. They get behind in games a lot, and they're not throwing him the ball in those situations. Jalen Hurts is still developing, and the coaching staff stinks. Other than that, it's all roses in Philly. So I would be looking to stay away from Miles Sanders. Again, like I said, a bag of chips. Like if I were able to get him for Demetric Felton, then sure, fine. I'll roll the dice on Miles Sanders. But he's not somebody I'm not looking at him as a bot. I'm looking at David Montgomery over Miles Sanders, and David Montgomery's expected to miss another 3 weeks.
Yeah, if you're looking to get a running back from that offense, you already know you should be going and getting Gainwell. You shouldn't be getting Miles Sanders just because I know Miles Sanders continues to get more snaps, but he's not getting the valuable ones. So if I'm shooting for upside in that offense, it's surprisingly not the running back getting all the work. Strange. Yeah, but that's how we feel about it, Mac. Bender, I know you left.
Yeah, he's.
But if you are here, did you leave the room? Can you see that? I can't see the viewers. I can only see how many are in.
What's your question?
Is Bender gone?
Yeah, I think
he's all the way gone. All right. Sorry. Then sorry, Bender. Didn't get to your question.
Or he didn't have one. He didn't have one. You're good.
No, right. Tamian, I misunderstood the question. I
was asking who specifically is on IR, but depending on who it is, if you need to drop somebody, then drop Felton.
Well, Felton is a free agent, and I was wondering which players are the worst. That's what he asked below that. If you see it, so I wouldn't drop any of those players for Felton. I would keep all those other players over picking up Felton this week. Right? You too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. But Mac Young, would you try to? We already got that. We got
that already.
Yep. You put that one in twice, bro. Come on, hey. You already know we'll get to all the questions. You don't got to throw them in twice, Mac.
We'll get to them.
Chris M7, I got offered Jamar Chase for my Damian Harris and Jalen Waddle. My other wide receivers are Ridley, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, and other running backs Chubb, Mitchell, Herbert, and Edmonds and CEH. I think that's a good trade. I would much rather.
I want
have Jamar Chase over the collection of Damian Harris and Jalen Waddle, considering you have other options at the positions.
Do that deal.
Yes.
Do that deal.
Mr. Jimenez, what's going on, bro? Thoughts on Rashad Bateman? I like him.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be doing a video on him tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow.
I'm so happy he's back.
Yep, tune in tomorrow, and you'll get my deep dive on Rashad Bateman moving forward. But tell us what you think about him.
So, I actually don't know what he finished with as far as his final numbers, but I saw a good chunk of that Ravens game while they were showing it. It became not competitive very quickly. But he was consistently getting open. He finished with all right, so he had 4 catches for 29 yards. A lot of it were like little short it was all like little button hooks and things around the line of scrimmage, like coming back, like a start and go type of thing. They weren't asking too much of him, but he got 6 targets, converted converted a couple of those catches into first downs. Remember, again, to my point, that game was out of hand quickly. The Ravens didn't need to throw the ball at all, in the second half to salt that game away, or at least in the fourth quarter.
No, he was playing the Sammy Watkins role pretty much exactly.
Yeah, I thought he looked solid doing it.
Yeah, me too. I think he earned more work moving forward, and I think if you were stashing him for however long you were stashing him, I think he can turn into a good wide receiver 3 at the very least.
He might be startable pretty. He might be startable in fantasy lineups in the next couple of weeks. Not this week. Baltimore plays Cincinnati, so I wouldn't start him this week, even though that's a decent matchup. But he looks.
And obviously,
viable.
Lamar Jackson gets
if he's
that
available,
much better.
pick him up.
I mean, he just has one more
Right.
weapon out
Helps
there,
Lamar.
so
Helps
Lamar. Yep. Stephen Mall with another question. What's going on, bro? Would you drop Zach Moss? No. Jeff Wilson, Trey Lance, or Ramondre Stevenson?
It's
I wouldn't drop Zach Moss, first off.
If is it a one quarterback or two quarterback? Because if it's two quarterback, drop Lance, depending on who your other quarterback is. If it's a super flex league,
and I think this is in conjunction with his last question, which was about Henry. We suggested Henry Ruggs.
and then who to drop for Ruggs,
right?
So
I think
either Trey Lance.
If you're not using Trey Lance, you can drop Trey Lance.
Yeah, you can drop Trey Lance.
If
it's a super flex league, then I would drop Stevenson because I think Jeff Wilson is a good hold.
There you go.
And Moss, just don't drop Moss.
Ooh, we got a DB question from Tamian.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I can answer this one because I've never played in a fantasy league where defensive backs
we played IDP.
I guess we played
so long ago.
Yeah, but I was always a middle linebacker guy, so I can't.
I grabbed the Patrick Willises of the world because I was
I
don't know who to grab. But okay, let's see if we can tackle this. So Trayvon Diggs is on bye. The backs in free agency might only get 3 points. Do you take a 0 and pick up Cole Beasley? Do you have Josh Allen? I know Tamian who said they have 5, they have 4 Bills, right?
Yeah, I think
so. I think I'm remembering that correctly. That's a lot of Bills. I mean, who are some of the let's see who some of these defensive backs are. The matchup.
I would take the bad DB and hold Trayvon and hope that you picked a good DB for that week. I think Trayvon is that good, and from what I know, just from general reading, defensive backs are the way to go if you're playing IDP over the guys playing in the middle, right? They pick up the tackles in the pass defenses. And
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just my default, I guess, is tomorrow or Thursday night against Cleveland. If they're pretty banged up, is there a depth defensive back on the Broncos that would kind of make sense as a play? I don't know. I guess I would just try.
I mean, I'm always trying to win. Offense. I'm always trying to win, and especially if I have a competing roster, I'm always trying to win. Right. So if I gotta take a shot on a bad
or
a
backup
DB,
quarterback,
and he gets me 3 points over holding Cole Beasley on my bench, I'm going with the bad DB and hoping that those 3 points are enough to get me a win. Because hey, I'm in a keeper league this past week, and based off of what Stephon Diggs in yesterday's game, I lost by less than 3 points. So it happens. So I would try to. If I can get those 3 points, I'm gonna choose those 3 points over a bench guy that, while I like Cole Beasley, I don't know if he's a game changer to have on your roster. I'm not willing to take an L to get a non-game changer on my roster as a depth piece.
Yeah. makes sense.
So we hope that helps,
agree.
Tamian. Thomas Gage, I doubt I'll be able to turn this 1-5 ship around this week. Cousins, Singletary, Chenault, Claypool on bye. Ugh. Oh man, Thomas, Judy, and Monty on the bench. Oh man, only one IR. That sucks, bro. Fields, Mooney, Trey Sermon, and AJ Dillon. That is rough. That is rough.
Yeah, I mean, in redraft leagues, it's usually like one IR spot. In the most important season-long league that John and I do, we have 2 IR spots. That was as a result of COVID last year. We had 5. I moved it down to 2. I think 2 at this point should be just like a minimum, like a permanent minimum.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. Just there's been so many more injuries the past few years.
And just with the fact that people can go on the COVID IR and be on,
that's another
and now
factor
they changed
why.
it so they can only be on for 3 weeks instead of 6. So more players are going IR versus just sitting out for 6 weeks. So just to stay current with the times, people should be leveraging
maybe
2
try to
IR
make
spots.
Maybe try to make a trade. Try to get some pieces for this week. See if you can trade Singletary. See if you can trade LaVisca. I don't know. That's tough.
And so, hey, sometimes just you gotta eat the dub, and keep it moving. If you have literally like 4 people on bye.
Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's no way around it. Sometimes there's no way around it.
3 injuries. I mean, it's just like it's that kind of year, you just gotta roll with it, and it sucks. And hopefully, maybe you can have a miracle and turn it around in the next few weeks, because there is 1 more week of regular season NFL football, so the odds might be in your favor there. You never know. Never know.
Yeah.
That sucks. D Money, any news on Marlon Mack? I have not heard of any.
Not that I've seen. I mean, there's more and more running back injuries popping up. That's probably going to stay the same. He's still got a couple more weeks to get traded. I guess it's like 2 more weeks, but nothing new, nothing that I've seen. But we'll be on the lookout. We'll probably put something out.
And we did a video on Marlon Mack earlier in the week.
That did already happen. Yep.
So look out for that. And if anything does develop with his current situation, we'll have another video out for you, whether that's a short or a longer form video. So stay tuned. Who is better, Jamar Chase or CD Lamb? Dude,
that's like I don't know. What kind of ice cream do I like? I don't know.
Right now, just from what I've seen, I'm gonna say right now it's Chase.
Right now, Chase is the best deep ball receiver in the game today.
I think it's Chase right now. Yeah.
CD is phenomenal though.
The thing about that is CD
awesome.
plays on an offense with so many other like alpha playmakers that like he is kind of he's not a forgotten option, but he's not the primary option. Whereas Jamar Chase on the Bengals, primary option. They treat him like the primary option.
They throw it to him like he's the primary
They have good other
guy.
pieces, but they treat him like he's their number 1. They're not. Dallas is not treating CD Lamb thus far. I think it happens as soon as next season. But as long as Amari Cooper's on the team, as long as Ezekiel Elliott is still doing what he does, CD Lamb isn't that guy for his team.
Yeah, Cooper's had his weeks as the team's wide receiver 1 this year.
Yeah.
Chase, slight edge to Chase. They're both awesome.
I mean, I can't think of a game this year in which the ancillary pieces for the Bengals did markedly better than Chase did. But I can think of multiple weeks where the other pieces around CD Lamb did markedly better. I mean, the ancillary pieces meaning the tight ends, the backup running back. That doesn't happen with Chase.
This was the first game where he truly CD. This was the first like big blow up game for CD this past week.
Yeah, so it's Chase, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's Chase.
Chase.
It's why, because at the beginning of the season, I would have said CD was the dynasty wide receiver 1. Now it's Chase.
Yeah, now it's Chase.
Yep.
Tamian, wait, you like Bateman? Yeah, we do. So Bateman versus Pittman,
Bateman.
Shepard, Harris, and Moss. So Bateman's on your wire too.
Not over those 4.
I would definitely want him over Felton because I think Bateman is a longer-term asset.
But not over those 4
I would rather
guys
have all those guys. Specifically Shepard because Tony is out for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Or at least the next week. I don't know if it's the next few weeks, but Shepard is a wide receiver 2 for however long. He's basically the last man standing in that offense. That would be the only guy that would be like, maybe you shoot for the upside of Bateman. But right now, the upside play is Shepard. So you just keep riding with Shepard.
Yep.
Mr. Jimenez, being lifelong Ravens fan, I think Rashad Bateman will break the curse. We haven't had a Pro Bowl receiver since Derek Mason.
I think Hollywood Brown's going to do that this year, maybe.
You could say that. Yep.
I mean, he's off to a great start. He came up small. On Sunday.
The Pro Bowl is misleading, man. You've had seasons out of Steve Smith and Anquan Bolden since Derek Mason that have been great. I mean, the Pro Bowl is
the
largely
Pro Bowl
an
is
empty accolade.
It's not. I don't put. You want to talk about like an all-star accolade that I value the least? It's the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The NFL players don't care about the Pro Bowl. The only players who care about the Pro Bowl are the players who are going for the first time. And not that
and they get a prepaid vacation to Hawaii or something.
That's pretty cool. But like, they don't care about that game. That game I feel like has become even more in recent years. Like more and more people are catching on. Like, why are we even playing this game? Like, I know it's not real football. We don't want to risk the injury.
Anybody that's listening in the chat, when's the last time that you turned on a Pro Bowl and watched it, paid attention?
I turn it on every year for like a play, and then I'm like, what am I doing?
I don't care.
Maybe not every year, but there have been enough years where I'm like,
I mean, you see so many Pro Bowl alternates where like, I'm sorry, I love Tyrod Taylor, but one year he was a Pro Bowl alternate with the Bills, and it was just like, the Pro Bowl means nothing.
Right.
Yeah. But bottom line is, we agree. We think Rashad Bateman will be good. I just don't know if Pro Bowl receiver is what you should be, shooting for. And I agree with your point, Nick. I think Brown.
Yeah, right. That at the end of the
day,
it's like Hollywood might just do it this year.
Yep.
So.
Tamian Baskarov, thoughts on Gibson? What are your thoughts on? I know he was your running back 6 coming into the year.
10, relax, Mr. 6.
I think he was 6.
No, Gibson wasn't 6. He was 10.
I could go and let me look right now.
Go ahead. You do that while I answer. Look, I'm a little concerned. He's picking up a lot of injuries early in the season really quickly. At this point, he didn't play at all in the fourth quarter, and did nothing in a good matchup. At this point, I feel like it would make the most sense for Washington to shut him down for a couple of weeks. Here's the problem with that, though. That could turn into a trickle-down situation because Washington looks like a lost cause this year as a team. They're not better than the Cowboys. They only might be slightly better than the Eagles and Giants, and I don't even know if they're that. I really hope this doesn't happen, but if Gibson gets shut down, I'm a little worried about like a Joe Mixon situation last year where they're like, oh, he's fine, but he's not going to play this week. He'll be back next week or something like that. And then it 1 week turns into another week, turns into a month, turns into he's just going to miss the rest of the year.
What I'm concerned about with him is a Joe Mixon situation, or not quite a Joe Mixon situation, but a situation where what they did with them last year with the turf toe injury, not string you along, but make him play when he's not fully healthy back from the injury. Yeah. And then it becomes not even just a string you along situation, then he's just out. and you're
just
dealing
hurt.
with a longer term injury again moving into the offseason. That's what I don't want. Because
yeah.
So I would almost rather see him sit out a few weeks.
I agree. I think they should shut him down. My concern is that if they do, it turns into, we're just gonna sit him out for the year because we're a bad team and let's let him heal up.
Yeah.
Jaret Patterson is absolutely worth a look on waivers as soon as possible. He might fly. He might sneak through waivers this week, maybe. But if it's tomorrow and we get Gibson doesn't practice, which is probably likely, we get the Gibson does not practice Wednesday practice report, the Patterson fire is going to grow.
That's somebody that we're going to be doing a video on within the next few days. Just to really dig deep into him as a prospect. What I do know is that he had a great college career. He had an incredible college career in terms of efficiency and usage. He was used a ton. I think he almost broke the yardage in a game for a college running back record
for a single player.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So okay, there you go.
And University of Buffalo, throwing that out there. UB, what's up?
Shout out.
Hey, not that I went there.
He's absolutely. we just like Buffalo. Him and Khalil Mack. Yeah. He's absolutely worth a look on waivers this week. Jaret Patterson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go nuts. I would maybe try to get him under the radar. But
throw $5 at him. See if you can throw him on your squad and
you can probably get him for 3 or 4.
Probably get him for 3 or 4, but I'm just gonna. I'd rather. I'm liberal with my fab use.
Yeah.
I
don't go 5 though. If I wanted to go 5, I'll just go 6. I don't like those.
If I wanted to go 6, I'd just go 7.
I don't like those clean numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20. You always got to you got to throw a little extra over the top to secure your claim.
Psychology. Anyway, there you go.
Right. Yeah, we're slim when we need him.
No, that's astrology. That's astrology.
Yeah.
He'll let us know how the stars align with that one.
Why I need to know the astrological sign of Jaret Patterson before I move forward. Anyway,
Tamian Baskarov. I picked a DB going against one of the rookies. All right.
Yeah, sure. I'm fine with
it's a good bet. It's a good bet.
Stephon Diggs as well, plus Sanders and Cole would be, and I can have, but Gibson versus Moss. Right now, Gibson today, as of literally this moment in time, Gibson.
Moss is on bye next week, but
Moss is on bye. Gibson might not play, so that's a wash. But let's see how practice rolls out this week. Let's see what the vibes are with Gibson. He's probably not going to practice all week.
Would you entertain trading Antonio Gibson to get out from under the situation entirely?
Yes. If the price is right. Because
what is the right price for you? Like a Cordarrelle Patterson?
So I'm still
or what are you thinking?
Sure, maybe. That might be fine because Gibson is prior to week 6. He's coming off of 3 straight weeks where I think he scored at least 15 half PPR points. I think it was 17, 18, 19, in that range. He's an RB1 when healthy. Obviously, caveat, when healthy. So, yeah, a Cordarrelle, I don't want to sound like I'm overvaluing my players or whatever, but I might ask for an extra wide receiver 3 or 4 in that deal just because I'm
I think you can get that because you can sell everybody on the fact that this is the first time Cordarrelle's doing it and he's 31.
Right, right. This is the first time Patterson's doing it.
And look at what I'm giving you, a 23-year-old running back in his prime,
who did it last year.
Dress it up a little bit. Dress that trade up a little bit, but you can get Cordarrelle Patterson and Gibson.
I would entertain that.
And your questions seem to be revolved around getting the most out of your bench to be able to have versatility. Should I roster 4 wide receivers and this and that. So that might help with that, to have somebody with that dual eligibility that you never have to worry about where you need to play him that week.
Demetric Felton, dual eligibility. I'm done.
Shut up.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yo.
But yes, I would at this point entertain
Demetric Felton fan club over here.
Yeah, I would entertain offers for Gibson, but I'm not selling for parts. Like it's got to be a really strong package.
Thomas Gage, trade Singletary for Shepard or Michael Carter. Just need a flex. Shepard more likely to accept. I would, if you can get Singletary Shepard and for Singletary, not saying and Michael Carter.
I would consider and Michael Carter. Can you sell like Michael Thomas? I'm really worried about him at this point. Maybe you keep Singletary and offer up like Michael Thomas, sell him on. He's coming back. He's off the PUP list.
Do you have Michael Thomas?
Is that? I think that's who he's Michael Thomas.
Where does he say Michael Thomas?
I'm just looking. Because Thomas is talking. He's 1 and 5. Cousins, Singletary, Chenault, Claypool on bye. Thomas, Judy, and Monty on the bench. Michael Thomas for like Shepard and Michael Carter.
Yeah, Nick just put out a video on why you should be moving away from Michael Thomas if you invested in him this year. So
I have a lot of concerns at this point. Like, I'll just really quickly. Basically, the general gist of Michael Thomas is he's eligible to come off the PUP list this week. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. He's still a few weeks away, quote unquote, according to Ian Rappaport. The vibes between Thomas and the team have not been good since the offseason. Nope. He got his surgery way later than he should have, according to the team. It sounds like there's like a real back and forth going on there about, he said, she said. I'm not sure we see Michael Thomas this year. And if we do, it's not going to be for another month, minimum. So if you could get Thomas, if you could sell Michael Thomas, you're 1 and 5. You need wins this year. Michael Thomas, Michael Thomas isn't going to help you get to the playoffs. I would try to like Shepard and Michael Carter for Thomas. I think that's good if you can make that happen. Sorry.
Yeah, Michael Thomas. The last time that we saw him for a 6-game stretch last season when he was coming back from the high ankle sprain that he sustained, and they brought him back too early, and you can say that or whatever. But you were only happy if you started him in 3 out of those 6 games that he played last season, and we could be looking at it back this season and think the same of for whatever stretch Michael Thomas is healthy for this team. We could be looking back and thinking, with a new quarterback that he has no rapport with because he hasn't been able to practice with him because he's been coming back from injury for, 6 months now? We could be looking at him as like a wide receiver 4.
I would be selling Michael Thomas to the entire league right now on... He's coming off the PUP list.
Our 2 biggest sells are Chris Carson and Michael Thomas, and we both are pretty much in lockstep about that. We're not in lockstep about Demetric Felton or D'Ernest Johnson. Some things we just disagree on. We're gonna find out
Thursday night.
Hey,
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, yep. You're gonna find out how great D'Ernest Johnson is.
But yeah, I was just gonna say that try to sell Michael Thomas to a contender for some of their depth. And sell him on he's coming back in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
If they go for it, awesome. I would put feelers out to the whole league on Michael Thomas. He's the guy to move when you're.
But I would go get Shepard over Carter.
I would ask for both and sell it on name recognition.
There you go.
Sell it on I would ask for both. Yeah.
Mr. Jimenez, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. You got any more questions? Let us know. To everybody in here, if you're not a regular, we are here every Tuesday. We are also here every Saturday. Are we doing it every Saturday night now?
So I guess I'll really quickly announce I'm not gonna be available this Saturday because I will be in Las Vegas with some friends. Yeah, we're going. I'm going to the game actually. I'm going to see the Eagles play the Raiders.
You're going to see the Eagles lose to the Raiders?
Probably, but let's not put that out there in the universe just yet. Even though I've already resigned myself to it. I will be in Vegas this Saturday, so I might be out of pocket then. But Sunday morning, start sit live stream. I intend to be available.
But we've had talks about doing this stream every Saturday night as well, because we have enjoyed
moving forward.
Doing the start sit with you guys to accommodate the London game. We started it because of the London game. We didn't want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning your time, and
I'm good.
It's 6 o'clock my time to do it. But it just might just become a fixture moving forward. But next week it might just be me. So.
Yeah, John, if you want to take Saturday solo, but Saturday night live streams and Sunday morning.
Yep. Yo, Tamian, you went to the Hawaii Pro Bowl? That's wild.
That's pretty cool. I've never been to Hawaii. I had a trip lined up at the beginning of last year, but then it got canceled.
If I was to go to Hawaii, it would be the NFL that would get me to go. So respect, Tamian. I'm with you.
There you go. Yeah,
Pro Bowl.
That's probably pretty cool.
It would be cool. Cool thing to see. Just go to Hawaii and then just be like, oh, whatever, going to see Pro Bowl.
Let me just go watch the game. Sure.
Yeah, whatever. It's probably a lot of fun. I mean, we were crabbing on the Pro Bowl before as just like a thing, but if you get the chance to do it as like a destination vacation, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I bet that was a lot of fun, Tamian. Thomas Gage.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. What were you saying? Yes, I do too.
To Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
So do we have? Yeah.
I'm guessing I'd have to trade Michael Thomas.
Trade him to a contender. And then what's the word on Saquon? Sounds. I mean, I don't think he's playing this week.
No.
Sounds like he's going to miss another week. That ankle was huge. The swelling really ballooned up during the game. It real fast. I can't imagine it's like that. It's ready that quickly.
No.
So maybe 2 weeks, maybe week 8 we see Saquon. The Giants when are the Giants on bye? That's probably a good benchmark. Are they week 12, week 11? Week 10. That's just far out enough where that's a little scary. You would hope he comes back week 8 when they play Kansas City, and then plays week 8 and week 9. That week 10 bye is a little. It's just far enough away where you have to be a little concerned that the team shuts them down until then, especially because the Giants are in the lost season.
It's crazy how many stud backs have just been out for large swaths of the season. It's crazy.
It's gonna end. I would love to be wrong, but there's probably gonna be another one.
Yeah.
At some point, somewhere.
Yeah.
Best case scenario for Saquon is week 8. Worst case scenario is week 11. Hell scenario is the Giants just keep losing and once again shut him down.
I don't think we're there yet.
We're not there yet, but
I don't think we're there where we need to fear that yet. Is what I mean. I don't think.
Sure.
That's far off. That's far off.
Sure. But week 8, best case scenario on Saquon.
Yeah, what do you think about Marlon Mack going there?
No, I don't.
Michael Thomas for Jamal Williams, no, dude. Get more than that. You can get more than that.
You should be able to get a little bit more.
Yeah, you should be able to get more than that.
If that's your best offer, John, at the end of the day, gun to your head, trade deadline, do you take it?
If I have Michael Thomas and
he hasn't played, it's the trade. Or you're 1-5, but you could see your way into wins, but it's got to start this week, Saturday night, let's say, or maybe there's a pending Thursday night, just to give it until you have until Sunday morning to plug them into your lineup. Do you pull the trigger?
Probably not just for Jamal Williams, no.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little.
I feel like tough. I can get. I mean, not comparable value because obviously Jamal Williams is a good player playing significant snaps every week. But I mean, any player can have a dud. Just see last week. But I mean, to that point, any player on the waiver wire can put together something good if you snipe that out, then you don't have to make a trade like that.
Mm-hmm.
Slim, what's going on? What's poppin', bro?
Slim?
So I would
yeah.
I would ask for more than just Jamal Williams. I would not
Mm-hmm.
press yes on that trade, even in the worst of circumstances.
You should be able to get a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Would you?
If I'm so it's Friday morning. It's like if I don't accept it now, or however long the wait time is for a trade to go through in your league. If I'm at the deadline and I need somebody, I mean, you know how I feel about Michael Thomas. I am like selling him any way I can at this point.
Yeah, but like at some point you have to like take into account that you're selling for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
To get what?
Yeah.
You should be able to get 2 pennies on the dollar. You shouldn't have to. That's too little of value, considering you can sell him on the fact that he can be a strong wide receiver too, and you're buying a a running back 3 flex.
Yeah. I don't disagree that I need a little bit more, but if it was like the 11th hour and I felt like I needed a win to keep my season alive,
Jamal Williams isn't where I'm going to do that.
I might do it.
That's
I mean,
the thing.
I might. I know it's gross. I know I don't feel good doing it, but I'm on record. I think I said in my video earlier today, I think Michael Thomas is a lost cause this year.
Yeah, yo, Thomas, go walk your dog and
go get some fresh air, clear your head, think about what you want to do.
Yeah, see if you can eke a little bit more out for Michael Thomas.
A little more.
Because we're split on this. Nick would go for it if it as a last resort.
In the 11th hour, now, today, I'm saying no. I need more than that. But if in the 11th hour that's my best offer, I would take it. But yeah, appreciate the support. Let us know how that goes. How trade discussions go.
Maybe Javonte Williams.
Well, definitely Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
Like if somebody said I'll give you Javonte for Michael Thomas straight up, I am taking that and running. No question. But
because that's one of Nick's guys. Nick loves Javonte.
Not even that.
No, it is. Yo, it is. He's one of your guys.
It's not even that.
He's one of your guys.
I'm just off Michael Thomas this year completely.
Yeah, I know, but he's also one of your
guys. And Javonte is an RB.
Like,
he's an RB3 this year. He's got some RB2 upside here and there. I understand Javonte has not been the guy that I thought he might be, at least not yet, to start the season. It could still happen, but he's much closer to the starting role or like a more full-time role, I think, than Jamal Williams is.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon's been banged up like every week for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Slim, thank you for the hashtag. Drop
appreciate
St. Brown for AJ Green. I would not.
Yeah.
Because
I think
St. Brown, he's still their number 1.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking at it from AJ Green's on the better offense and healthy right now. St. Brown is the younger, fresher player. Caught a 2-point conversion.
Competition for targets is Khalif Raymond, dude. I mean, if you look at the competition for targets, I'd rather not be competing for targets with DeAndre Hopkins and Chase Edmonds and
right.
Zach Ertz, who they just brought in and are going to use like they used Max Williams and Rondale Moore and Christian Kirk. I would rather have to fight for snaps with Khalif Raymond and Trinity Benson.
The disrespect for Khalif Raymond is real. That is rude.
I'm not disrespecting him. I would rather one team's got one Hall of Fame wide receiver and then a bunch of really promising young guys, and the other team has 27-year-old journeyman Khalif Raymond. I'm sorry,
AJ
Khalif.
Green's on an offense, a much better offense, much better quarterback. Like, not even close.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be honest. I saw Green. Green had one nice catch this week. Did he have any others? Did he, like, what was his line this week?
Still going St. Brown over AJ Green in 2021.
I'm just looking. Oh, dude, okay. I'm bugging. He had 5 for 79 and a touchdown. The week before that's what I was. The week before he was quiet, one for 13. So not very good. But 6 targets in every game except for
I'd
last
said that
week.
Earlier.
I think
that's great.
I think,
but like
you did say that earlier.
That's great, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is the number 1 in Detroit. I'd rather have. I know, dude, but I'd rather have the number 1 in an awful offense.
All right, sorry, Slim. We're not able to give good help this time. We're split on this. I would say yes, pick up AJ Green. John would hold St. Brown.
I know AJ Green has had a decent year thus far, but I do continue to expect at some point he's going to begin to get phased out a little bit.
For who?
AJ.
Rondale Moore, like they're gonna look. The Cardinals are good.
For the
they're
other
6-0. They're gonna
three
rely
wide
on their
receivers that they have that are better than him at this point in their career.
Who? Other than I know Hopkins. Who else is better than AJ Green right now? Christian Kirk.
Performing better or just a better wide receiver? AJ Green is performing.
You said better wide receiver.
Better wide receiver, yeah. I think Rondale and Christian Kirk are better wide receivers than AJ Green, who prior to this 6-game stretch where he's getting 6 targets from Kyler Murray a week, for the past 4 years he was at most a wide receiver 4. At some point, he was a punchline, and at some point, at 31, 32 years old, we can expect him to get probably banged up again. We're not hoping for it, but at this point, it's something that you can project with somebody who's an elder statesman and been injured for 4 years straight in one form or fashion or another. Great, the fact that he's put up a 6-game stretch of 6 targets or 6 catches in every game. That's great, AJ Green. I'm really glad you had a really good, and I don't mean to sound like negative. No, it's really great. I'm glad for AJ Green. I loved watching him when he was in his prime. He's not in his prime anymore.
No,
he's not. He fluctuates between the 2nd and 4th or 5th option from the receiving point on that team, and I would rather have the number 1 wide receiver for the Lions, even if Goff is the quarterback, than an aging, injured past his prime wide receiver.
Amon-Ra has a really good schedule for the rest of the year as far as matchups.
I'm going Amon-Ra over AJ Green. Respect to AJ Green for doing what he's been doing.
AJ Green has some decent matchups himself. AJ Green's been better. I'm gonna stick to my guns and say
but you would expect AJ Green to start out hot if he's gonna start out any sort of way and tail off as the season goes on.
Do we though? I don't know that's. I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, we've seen players get off to slow starts coming back from injuries, like multi-year injuries as well, all the time. I don't know that I necessarily assume. I think that further makes it more impressive that he's gotten off to this strong of a start.
I just think he's a ticking time bomb.
I think there is where.
And I would rather not have to worry about a ticking time bomb. Who has young? It's not just the fact that he's an injury risk. It's the fact that they have young playmakers in this offense who are doing really well, who should see more snaps and more targets than him. And for some reason, I haven't looked at the snap counts for the wide receivers for the past 2 weeks now, but through 4 weeks, he was the wide receiver with the second most snaps. He was consistently getting 80% of snaps, whereas Rondale was 40 and Christian Kirk something 50.
We're talking about AJ Green.
Yes, sorry.
We're not talking about okay. 80% of the snaps.
I just think at some point it catches up with them.
You don't think a 6-0 team, like these early indications of like the guys that they're leaning on, is not indicative of what they want to do the rest of the season? Like take injury factor out of the equation, because every player has potential for injury. Like the Cardinals are not a team that is like plodding along at 2 and 4.
Yeah.
They're not a rebuilding
Hopkins
team. This is
has
a competitive team.
DeAndre Hopkins is okay.
All I'll say is
it.
this is a 6-0 undefeated, in the conversation for best team in the league right now, Arizona Cardinals. They're going to want to rely on their veterans. I think that's what it all comes down to. And AJ Green is playing well right now to start the season, is producing right now to start the season, and much more consistently than a rookie on a bad team. I would prefer the veteran, Slim, and I know we've spent a good amount of time on this, so I'll let you wrap it up, John. I would pull the trigger. I would say pick up AJ Green.
I mean, you know where I stand.
Right. You say keep. You say hold Amon-Ra because John says hold Amon-Ra because he's the number one receiver in the pecking order. Well, not including TJ Hawkinson. St. Brown is the number one wide receiver.
I mean, right now
position.
you might still be based off of the way TJ Hawkinson's been utilized in that offense. I mean, it's been almost an even split if you were to look at it. I would just prefer the better player, the veteran, who I was totally off on this offseason. Like, I was totally off on. I don't think I have a single share of AJ Green anywhere. I was totally off on him, and to this point, I was totally wrong. Well, hey, maybe this has been the year of the veterans. I mean, we've seen Latavius Murray get released, and now he's the number one running back on the Ravens. We've seen, who else? I mean, AJ Green has had a resurgence.
Cordero Patterson.
Cordero Patterson. There you go.
Yeah, this is the year of the veteran.
Mike Davis, we've seen it. Yeah, I mean, so maybe maybe AJ Green can stay healthy and continue to command 6 targets a game for the rest of the season.
Proven player in the better offense, better quarterback. That's my thing.
And I'm chasing the role.
You're chasing the role. Okay.
Yeah, the
so
role of the number one. And
what's
I
the
don't
chat?
think it changes.
What's the chat think? AJ Green or Amon-Ra? But anyway, let's continue.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry for spending so much time on that one, you guys.
Yeah,
but,
I think we had like 9 people be like, screw this, we're out. But
in a 2
anyway.
QB league, Heineke or Goff as my QB2 this week.
The Lions play. I know Washington plays the Packers. Blech.
Is Jair Alexander still out?
Yes. Goff plays the Rams. Oh no.
Then you play Goff and you hope for the best.
I think you play Heineke. The Rams just ate the Giants alive.
Wait, you said
the Lions
Goff?
offense
You said the Lions play the Rams or the Washington
the
plays
Lions
the Rams?
play the Rams. Washington plays the Packers.
Then yeah, you go Heineke. Yeah.
Heineke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thomas Gage. All right, I'll try to get something for him. Yeah. Let's hope he can get something better.
That must have been a double.
Yep.
No.
Tamian, I have Thomas in my 8-man league, but I don't need to trade him in that league. I'm also going to hold him.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're hoping for the best with Thomas, like, great. I would still say try to sell him. I'm just not a believer in Michael Thomas this year. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we need to see, honestly, John, I think we need to see Michael Thomas on a new team. I think it's like at that point.
Wow.
I don't think Michael, that's what I don't think Michael Thomas, the vibes have just been awful and I haven't improved. I think we need to see Michael Thomas get moved. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. I would try to sell him regardless of your situation.
Okay. I would too, to agree with that. But I'm just surprised that you think he should be on another team altogether. I don't disagree. It's just like I guess I hadn't really thought of it that much or that hard before.
I'm not a fly on the wall. I'm not in the room. I don't know. Oh, I'm buddies with the New Orleans Saints. No, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I'm not sure what's being said behind closed doors and in private messages. But none of the vibes that have been put out there from either Thomas or the Saints seem to suggest that they're on this is, they're buddies right now. They're on solid ground. Could they kiss and make up? Sure. Will they? I don't know.
And the Saints haven't been perfect without him. They've kind of struggled to find their identity.
No, they have not. They haven't looked good.
So
it's an offense that's kind of pulling teeth right now.
Yep.
So,
Chris M7, better stream this week, Darnold or Daniel Jones? I just think with the weapons you're working with, Darnold. I don't like the weapons.
They play each other.
I'm going Darnold.
Darnold. The Panthers are just a better defense than the Giants. Even if you take Darnold's better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones will run, but Daniel Jones is going to be down. Saquon again. I don't know. Is Galladay going to miss again?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Tony's already going to miss. Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold. Hey, you might run in another one. Thoughts on Carr this week, Tamian? I
Raiders
like him.
Play the Eagles.
I like him.
I mean, the Eagles are giving up all kinds of passing production right now. Brady had an okay game against them Thursday night. Not a great game. He only had 2 touchdowns, but he also didn't need to do that much to just win the game.
Yeah.
Carr is fine as a stream this week. My only concern would be the Raiders just trashed the Broncos, and do they have a letdown after beating a division opponent?
They're going to be at home, though.
We see that all the time. They will be at home.
So they get that edge.
They will be at home.
Yep.
Yeah, Carr's fine as a stream this week. I mean, the weapons are good. Weapons are good. The matchup is fine. Yeah.
What's poppin', Hex?
Going on,
Mixon and Ridley or Jonathan Taylor and Hollywood Brown? I'm guessing that's a trade.
Oof.
I'm going Jonathan Taylor and Hollywood Brown.
I think I'm inclined to say that side too.
And that's crazy. It's crazy because Ridley, all conventional wisdom would lead you to believe that you should be going Ridley. But I think based off of what we've seen this season and the ceiling of both offenses and the ceiling of all 4 of these players in both offenses, I think you go Jonathan Taylor and Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. I mean, Taylor looks like a top 3 running back for fantasy right now, maybe top 2. He would be 2 behind Henry, but I don't know who else would you rather have than after Derrick Henry? Who would you rather have than Jonathan Taylor right now? Nobody. I can't think of anybody. Like Cooper Kupp,
Najee,
I guess. Maybe. No, I'd rather have Taylor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'd rather have Taylor. So yeah, I think that's my answer. Yeah. Taylor and Hollywood.
Demetric Felton, your boy.
Yeah, Demetric over everybody.
I know you'd rather have AJ Green.
Yeah. And I guess I agree with that, with Slim's assessment. Amon-Ra higher.
I was just saying
higher ceiling.
over Jonathan Taylor, but yes, that too.
Oh, funny guy.
Ha ha ha.
Walls. No, Taylor Hollywood there. And then so Slim, with that, it's just kind of personal preference. Like, do you want the guy who you think has the safer floor in Amon-Ra, or do you want to swim for the fences with AJ Green? I will
agree with that. I'll agree with that. That's the assessment here, and I am fighting that you should be going Amon-Ra higher floor because technically the ceilings are similar.
So
6 targets a week is not something that Amon-Ra can't garner in that offense as well. You're just looking at quality of targets, but I think Amon-Ra at some point gets up to closer to 10 targets, whereas AJ Green stays around 6, and you're hoping for a touchdown or long bombs with AJ Green where the targets are closer to the line of scrimmage with Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously. But Goff sustained Robert Woods as a close to the line of scrimmage wide receiver, and he was constantly just outside of wide receiver 1 territory. And I don't think there's any situation in which we see AJ Green approaching wide receiver 1 territory, but technically Amon-Ra plays in the role where Goff used to produce a wide receiver 1. So technically, ceilings wise, I think the ceiling still goes with Amon-Ra St. Brown if you're looking at the bigger picture. I think
you mean this whole season, or like, are you talking
Yeah,
dynasty?
he's good. He's untapped potential.
This year?
And Jamar is untapped potential. If there's some,
Sure,
if there's,
he's a little bit
there's
more
a
of an
ceiling there that,
unknown.
yeah, and I'm going with the person that has a higher floor and technically does have the higher ceiling. He technically has he doesn't have the higher known ceiling. There's a higher known ceiling with AJ Green, and I know we spent a lot of time on this, and we should get to other questions again. But
Yeah, we
the
should
high,
get to other stuff.
I mean, if you're talking unknown ceilings as well, I'm on Raw. Unknown ceiling. But let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that. So
Yeah.
sorry, Slim. We're still split. Hex, I'm starting Callaway this week.
That's fine.
He's a solid start as long
That's
as
fine.
Michael Thomas is out, and Nick
Good
thinks
matchup.
Michael Thomas is out for the rest of the year. So
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
yeah. Brett Forseth, thanks for sticking with us through our squabbles about Amon Ra and AJ Green. Michael Thomas has a YouTube channel. He said he's staying in New Orleans no matter what and is happy moving forward.
Okay, I mean,
I think he's got to say that. That's PR.
Yeah,
If he started saying the opposite, then I'd start thinking like, oh, do we have an Antonio Brown on our hands?
A Ben Simmons.
Right. Oh, shit.
No, I mean, there could be truth to, obviously you can only, trust these guys as far as their word. That's all, because that's all we have. We don't know these guys personally. We're not in their inner circle. We don't know what they're actually thinking. We don't know if maybe that is what he's thinking. But I still think it's kind of an ugly scenario.
You gotta say
I think
that.
it's just an ugly scenario because the Saints, Sean Payton in the offseason, like he had a comment. He was like, yeah, we thought it was going to be done sooner, like talking about the ankle surgery. So there was a disconnect there. If they cleared things up between now and then, great. But like the Saints still can't be that happy because now Thomas is talking about missing the entire first half of the season at minimum. I have a hard time believing it's all roses in New Orleans between Michael Thomas and the team. Maybe I'm wrong. It's just
No, I could see it.
Call it intuition or instinct or whatever the hell word you want to call it.
Slim Reaper. Hey John, how do you feel about Joshua Gordon? I've never heard of a Joshua Gordon. So I'm not going to answer that question. Slim.
Who is this Joshua?
On a serious note, should I drop Gainwell for Stevenson? Nah.
I think Gainwell.
No, bro, he's had two rough weeks, but Gainwell was the clear back to own through 4 weeks.
He was.
And I think still at this
Damian
point,
Harris still on the injury report, or did he clear that hurdle?
I am not sure about that one, but I would still go Gainwell.
It's a tough call.
Excuse me. Unless we hear something definitive about Harris.
Oh, you know what? Harris had 18. I didn't even realize.
I'm going
Harris had a good
Gainwell.
game. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I didn't realize Harris passed.
Yeah, Harris had a good. Harris had a good game. Harris had a good game.
you can keep Gainwell Slim. Okay. At first I was like, oh, but now it's like, all right. Gainwell didn't have a couple good weeks, but he's still getting thrown the ball. And I think he's got a chance to bounce back a little bit this week in a game where I expect the Eagles to be trailing.
Yep. What's going on, Mr. Heinen? Thank you for joining us. Hex, I really don't like the Atlanta offense. Yeah, man, it's been it's hit or miss outside of a few a very select few. And it's not the select few that we would have thought coming into the season outside of Kyle Pitts. Because Nick predicted that, but nobody would have predicted that the next two highest scoring players on this offense would be Cordarrelle Patterson and Mike Davis. Crazy.
Yeah.
Hex, I have Henry already. Like Derrick Henry? Hunter Henry?
Hopefully Derrick.
Hopefully Derrick. Derrick is great.
Yeah.
Slim, Gaskin, Herbert, Mitchell, start 2 PPR. Herbert and Mitchell.
Those last two, yeah.
I'm all the way out on Gaskin. If you
two.
can sell him based off of what he did 2 weeks ago, and I think we said on one of our streams before this last week of games that Gaskin was a sell after that boom week.
Probably.
The smart move would have been to
I'm
do
not
that.
on Gaskin.
So yes, the smart move right now is to try to get rid of Gaskin and see if you can sell him based off of what he did 2 weeks ago.
See if you can get like a nice bag of peanuts or something.
Pistachios with no shells.
Yeah.
Do it up.
That's ideal.
Treat yourself.
Right.
Nico Collins.
What's
ceiling.
Gaskin's astrological sign?
Yeah. We
Ooh,
had
Nico
a question for you earlier.
Oh, that's right, Brett. I'm happy you brought up Nico Collins because I love this guy's long-term potential. I really do. He came through with 4 catches for 44 yards on 6 targets.
Yep.
Look, the opportunity is way
this offense
completely
has
in front of him.
realized they cannot keep throwing to only Brandon Cooks all game.
They're
And
begging for somebody to step up.
Right. And there's literally nobody else there.
No. Who's there? Who's been Chris Moore?
Chris Moore's been
who had a nice game
doing things.
couple
They have
weeks ago.
don't they have Danny Amendola and
They might.
like Chris
Yeah,
Conley
it's a ragtag crew.
Yeah.
I forget where Chris Conley ended up. That's gonna bother me. The point is, Nico Collins has all the opportunity in the world. Big target. I think he complements Brandon Cooks well on the outside. Cooks is obviously like the little speedster. 3rd round draft capital for Nico, right? It was 3rd round.
I believe
so.
fourth. I think it was 4th.
Was it? I thought it was 3rd, but that's
3rd
okay.
was Davis Mills, was it not? Or did they have 2?
Did they have 2 thirds? They might have had 2. Why do I feel like Nico Collins
maybe
was a
they had 2
round
thirds
pick?
and they picked Nico up with the
It
second
was
third.
Davis Mills,
Because they
and
picked
then,
Davis Mills up in the beginning of the 3rd round.
89th pick. Yeah, Nico Collins was a 3rd rounder. They traded up.
There you go.
Okay, so there you go. They traded up.
He was
Yeah,
relatively unknown
I love Nico.
before the draft process, and really before that pick. I really didn't know much about Nico Collins, but he has the alpha receiver build, which is something that Brandon Cooks does not have. So if you're looking for that alpha receiver build moving forward in that offense, it's Nico Collins.
Although Brandon Cooks is an alpha.
I mean, he's the alpha, but he doesn't have that. It's like Henry Ruggs over
He's a little
Brian
alpha.
Edwards.
Yeah, he's
Nico Collins is Brian Edwards, and
Nico
Henry
Collins
Ruggs
has
is
the
Brandon
frame.
Cooks.
Hopefully, Nico
yeah.
Collins is better than Brian Edwards.
Hope.
I like Collins. I like his long-term potential. I think he's got a real opportunity in that offense. They're going to be rebuilding for a while in Houston. I can't imagine they keep spending resources on wide receivers when that's one of the few positions of strength that they have.
Yeah.
So Nico to the moon.
Slim Reaper, Jeff Wilson or Elijah Mitchell, rest of season. I know Wilson is out until November-ish.
Yes. So for me, based on
Elijah until they come back, and then they're gonna split work evenly.
Elijah. But for now, Elijah,
yeah.
I mean, he's the right. To your point, he's the healthy one.
But when both are back, I believe they split work evenly. I do.
Yeah, they might split work evenly, or Trey Sermon mixes in. Maybe Trey Lance is getting in the game too. It might be a whole bunch of hodgepodge. So I'll give a slight edge to Mitchell just as the guy who has been playing this year. He's the one who has actually suited up to this point. But it's not a runaway. It's like I have Jeff Wilson stashed myself. There's real potential there because this backfield is still very much a question mark.
Yes, sir.
But I'll give a slight nod to Elijah Mitchell.
Hey, Marcus, good to see you. Good to see you, Marcus. And no worries.
Yeah, hey, Marcus.
No worries at all, bro. That's
man.
It's not necessary. It's thank you so much for it when it happens, but it's not necessary. We're just happy you're here with us. He ended up starting Waddle over A.J. Brown when he heard Brown might be sick.
And that was a good call.
I mean, Waddle won you your league. All right. By the skin of your teeth. Good. Then we're glad you made that decision.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad you won this week. How do we feel about Bateman? Target share seems awesome, but but I don't know if it's just won a game. We like Bateman. We like Bateman long term. We think his role is solidified and may continue to grow moving forward. Basically took over for Sammy Watkins 1-for-1. And he'll have a role moving forward. and that's all you can ask. We think he can carve out a wide receiver 3 role at the least in fantasy moving forward.
Yeah, I think Lamar can support multiple fantasy relevant starters week to week. But I do want to make Mr. Heinen had a couple of
sorry, Mr. Heinen. We're moving back up.
Yeah, we're moving back up. Drop St. Brown or Parker, and then rest of season Parker, Green. I guess that's AJ. St. Brown, Callaway. So Parker missed last week. So Parker's probably the guy who's a better drop. Rest of season rankings. I'm inclined to put Callaway 1. That's close. Would you put St. Brown 1?
I mean, they're both wide receiver 1s right now for their team.
Yeah, they are their team's wide receiver 1.
I would be inclined to put St. Brown over Callaway because we've seen Callaway have weeks where he has 2 targets, even as the number 1. And he, I think the week that I'm thinking of, he had 71 yards on those 2 targets, so really good job for him. But
He also had one of the games that he came through on was like on a Hail Mary catch for a touchdown.
Right, that's the one that I'm thinking of. That's the one that I'm thinking of. Whereas St. Brown is getting a consistent target workload, and the targets are ones of the easier to catch variety, right? So it's while they might not give you the same amount of fantasy points, they're more consistent and more reliable. So I would put St. Brown first, with Cephas out for the year. And Khalif Raymond does again his only target competition at the wide receiver position. St. Brown first, Callaway second, Green third, Parker fourth.
I would go Parker fourth, and then for me, it's kind of like a jumble of complications there. It's kind of hard for me to.
They're all in the same. They're all in the same tier.
The same tier.
Yeah.
I guess so I'll just stick to my guns. I personally think I would put AJ slight number 1, but it's more like a 1A, 1B, 1C situation than it is 1, 2, 3. I'll go AJ, and then honestly, it's like St. Brown 2 or 1, 1B, and then Callaway, and then Parker. The only one that we're in agreement on is Parker being 4th. Oh no, we said Callaway 3.
I said Callaway 2.
You said Callaway 2. Okay,
I'd probably switch those, though. I'd probably put AJ Green above Callaway. I would do that. Callaway 3. You're right. Callaway 3.
Yeah.
But I would put St. Brown first.
St. Brown and AJ Green are in the 1-2 conversation, and then Callaway is 3, and then Parker.
Yeah, with you. Tamian, I wouldn't even draft Cooks, but when people refuse to sell high, that's when I got mad.
You should have talked to me in the offseason. I was a proponent of drafting Cooks.
Yeah, we both are Cooks fans.
Well, I was a little worried about him I was a little bit worried about him in season long. I loved him in best ball. As it turns out, Cooks has been more consistent than not. So I'll come off my ledge a little bit. I wasn't like pushing him in season long leagues. I was more pushing him in best ball when you.
He was a target for me. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. He's always a target for me. He's had one off year in a great career.
Right.
And honestly, he's the Ryan Fitzpatrick of wide receivers. He continues to go to different teams and do nothing but produce, and then for some reason the team gets sick of him and moves on. He's the Ryan Fitzpatrick of wide receivers. He's better than Ryan Fitzpatrick is as a wide receiver.
I see what you're saying.
He's
talking better
about
than Ryan.
The comparison, the
just
optics.
the situation where it's like, how does this... And it's weird for Cooks, because Cooks was a first-round pick and then got traded for a first-round pick. And then got traded for a first-round pick again. It's like, I've never seen that happen. But all the guy does is put up 1,000 yards.
Like a wide receiver one everywhere he's gone, with the exception of one season where he had 3 concussions in a short amount of time, and that's like super unpredictable, and that's not something that we can count on happen. They do compound with each other, but I mean, that's getting into a sticky subject there, so let's leave that one alone. No concussion talk.
Right.
But we like Brandon Cooks. The NFL will fine us if we talk concussions.
True.
Eli Oz, Allen Robinson, or Sterling Shepard as my flex position. It's crazy that you need to ask that question.
Shepard.
Absolutely crazy you need to ask that question, but it's Sterling Shepard, and it's absolutely
even
crazy.
crazier
Right,
that
yeah.
Shepard is the answer.
Yeah, nobody would have bet on that. If you put money on that, you probably... Yeah, wow. Stevie Johnson. Stevie Johnson's in the chat.
It just says Steve. Just says not the old Bills wide receiver.
Should I trade Zeke and Ridley for Cook, Woods, and Lockett?
Ooh. I don't like the idea of acquiring Lockett. I mean,
can you trade Woods, or can you trade Ridley for like
Cook
and Woods? Something like.
Probably not.
All right. Well, then
Zeke would
Ridley
need to be
for
in that
Cook?
deal. Ridley for.
Can you get out from under Ridley? Because I don't love Ridley's outlook the rest of the season. I think he continues to do what he's done.
I don't think you can get Dalvin Cook for Ridley 1-for-1.
Okay, would you do Ridley for Woods and Lockett? I don't know. I would try to get a different guy than Lockett.
I don't like
because
Lockett
of Geno
the rest
Smith.
of this.
Yeah.
I don't like Lockett the rest of the season. Yeah. And Cooper Kupp is the wide receiver 1 in LA this year, or with Matthew Stafford. I don't know that I want to pick up Woods. I know he popped a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
No, I think I know Dalvin Cook is tantalizing.
I'd be putting Ridley on the trade block.
I think I would hold. Sure, but I would not that deal.
I'm not seeking any of those players out.
I'm not dying to have it. Cook, yeah. Woods, meh. Lockett, no. So that's not I wouldn't do that. It's not unfair. I'm not a fan of Lockett for the rest of the season.
Anuna, we're only helping you because you said please. What's going on, Anuna? I have Pitts at TE. Should I trade Julio, Waller, and Zach Moss for Jonathan Taylor? Julio, Waller, and Moss? No.
Yeah.
Not Waller and Moss. And if you could trade Julio...
I am inclined to say yes.
Waller?
I know that's a lot. I know that's a lot.
He has Pitts at tight end.
Right. So then the question.
Can you trade Julio Pitts and Moss for Jonathan Taylor and keep Waller? Don't trade the guy. I mean, I know Waller's had a little bit of a down year this year, but he's still, the top 2 weekly rankings at tight end. I don't think you should be flipping for Pitts just because Pitts had a great game in which Calvin Ridley wasn't playing. Right? I think you swap Waller out for Pitts there and try to make that trade. I'm still high on Waller.
You would trade Julio. You would offer
Julio, Pitts, and Moss for Taylor. Yes.
Well, yes, I would do that. But if the Taylor owner says no, I'm
not
Waller
swapping. No,
included.
man. No, I'm trying.
No. Hang on. Let me finish. I would ask, would Waller and Julio get it done? Probably doesn't.
I would try for that.
You can sell Waller you can sell it on being Waller is tight end one, one of the tight
person
end
I'm
ones.
trying to sell there is Julio. So I wouldn't do a Waller and Zach Moss for Jonathan Taylor, even though that would still be equitable value. I'm trying to if I have Julio here, I'm trying to get him off my squad. So if I can get Julio and Pitts and Moss for Jonathan Taylor, I'm doing that.
Julio, Pitts, and Moss for
I think
Taylor.
that's the thing you should be trying to do, Anuna. Julio, so it's basically Waller, because Julio's a big nothing right now. You're selling off a name recognition. It's basically Waller and Moss for Jonathan Taylor.
Which is not unfair. Taylor is locked in as a top 3 running back for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no. I'm struggling because I would rather do the other deal. That's my only.
Sure. I think I'm inclined to say if you had.
But it's not bad. It's not a bad move to get.
Could you get a wide receiver 4 in return? If you could get a depth wide receiver in return for Julio, Waller, and Moss, and you acquire Taylor plus maybe a depth piece. And I'm saying yes. Taylor's top 3 running back for the rest of the season.
Yeah, if you can get another depth piece,
if you can get a
4,
depth piece,
sure.
I'm saying yes. Yes.
I think I would say yes to that too, but absolutely before I'm offering that, I'm offering Julio, Pitts, and Moss.
Yeah.
But as my last resort, if I gotta swap Pitts for Waller, I'll do that. But I'm not coming with that as my first, second, or third option. That's the last resort. Yeah. Rolando Fortunel, what's going on? And we hope that helps. And Nuna, if you have any more questions, hit us up. Rolando, Evans, Patterson, and Saquon for Kupp and Stafford. What's your format? Are you super flex?
Yeah, we need a little bit more context.
If it's not super flex, I'm not doing that.
What's the scoring? Yeah, I agree.
If it's not super flex, I'm not doing that. If it's super flex and you're in need of a quarterback, that's still a lot to give up.
There's a lot to give up.
That's still a lot to give up.
Look, I still believe in Saquon for the second half of the season. And Patterson's been an RB1 until further notice.
That dual
Kupp is
eligibility, right?
Balling, I understand. Yes, that's another thing. Getting a stack is fun. Getting a stack is cool. Getting a stack like Stafford and Kupp is awesome. But if it's not super flex,
and if you're doing it at the expense of the rest of your team, like the stack is great. And the stack can help you win your league if the rest of your team is there. But if you're giving up the integrity of your team for the stack, it'll hurt you more than it'll help you. Stacks are a luxury, and people have to remember that when they're attacking stacks. They're a luxury. Make sure that you have the full team first. But we love stacks.
Yeah, no, I'm inclined to say keep that package. Keep Evans, Patterson, Saquon.
Yep.
And in one quarterback, there's no question, keep that trade.
Mr. Heinen, you're welcome. Rolando, we hope that helps. Helpful. Thanks for joining us. Eli Oz, Khalil Herbert, or Elijah Mitchell as my RB2. Flex on buy, or Zeke on buy.
Who are the Bears playing?
As long as Khalil Herbert is getting all the work to himself, I'm surprising myself in going Khalil Herbert.
I mean, that was who I was. They're playing the Bucks on the road in Tampa.
That's tough.
That's about as bad of a match. That's about as avoidable of a matchup as you want. Mitchell.
Yeah, got to go Mitchell there, and it's solely based on the matchup.
It's solely based on
anybody else.
Khalil Herbert as a god awful matchup.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Hey, Thomas, I'm glad you're back.
Welcome
I hope you
back,
got some
man.
peace of mind there on your walk outside with your dog. What kind
Hopefully
of dog?
somebody
What kind of dog is it, bro? What kind of dog you got?
Yeah, we're dog people. I got a dog behind the camera right now. He's napping though.
We're pet people. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie Johnson. I'm calling you Stevie Johnson for the rest of time. You're gonna have to deal with it. What about Taylor instead of Zeke? His first question was Zeke and Ridley for Cook, Woods, and Lockett.
Oh, no. God, absolutely not. No, Taylor's even more valuable than Zeke. No. Hold. You have Taylor and Zeke. Hold. Just hold. You're fine. You
and Ridley?
Cook.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I would hold.
Stand pat. I mean, if you're like 2 and 4 and you feel like you need to scramble for like
then try to deal
get a
Ridley,
win,
but
no, hold those running backs.
Yeah.
Hold them.
Yep.
All right, Slim. This is the hard-hitting stuff that I was asking for. Gaskins and Aquarius, shout out. Also an Aquarius. Flores is a Pisces. So, but it's by all accounts that should be a relationship.
Yeah, but there's no balance there. I see no Libras.
You lost me. You lost me.
Somebody out there gets
it. It should work. I guess
it.
not all relationships. I guess I guess astrology doesn't always. It doesn't always accurately predict how a relationship is going to go.
So somebody out there gets it. My fantasy relationships are all based off of the stars and how they align. Stanley Jackson,
totally.
who is looking to trade for Marlon Mack, and should I keep him on my team? We did a video on this earlier in last week. We did about a 6-minute video on Marlon Mack.
What to do with him? I guess
his recovery thus far, and which teams have a need and could go out and get him, and what you should value him, how you should value him, depending on where he goes. So check that out.
But I mean, like really quick, it's like, is it dynasty? Is it redraft? Like, how big is the team? He could be worth holding on to. He could just be worth dropping in the next week or two.
Yeah. It's really he's the dart throw. The dart throw of all dart throws. So you're hoping he latches on to a contender and he can return you RB2 value, but he could be absolutely nothing.
The Ravens would be a great situation. The Seahawks might be in play. Like the Chiefs could be in play. Like there's the
Saints
could be in play.
Yep. Tamian Henderson versus Kamara. I mean, Henderson's been great, but you got to edge Kamara.
Yep. Yeah.
CXK trying to flip Khalil Herbert. Any thoughts on what's a good haul for him in Dynasty Superflex?
Depends on what you need. If you're looking to, I mean, could you get like a second round pick for him? Is that?
I mean, what did you spend on him? You spent like what, a fourth on him. So if you can get like 2/3, that's good return on investment. And
if there's a running back needy team right now, I would think a second round pick could get it done.
A second round pick, couple of thirds.
Or
I think a second round pick is a little too much. I would not.
Yeah,
in Dynasty, even in Superflex, I'm not throwing a second round pick at you, especially since the good position.
Might not.
Okay. Well,
an RB needy team, like who's trying to contend, who needs a win, might. But yeah, fine. If they don't go for the second, then yeah, like a couple of thirds would work as well.
Because I long-term value, I don't know if it's here for Khalil Herbert. He is the flavor of the month right now because he's the only healthy guy there right now, and because the team doesn't, and the coaching staff for some reason they don't trust putting the ball in Fields' hands and letting him go to work through the air, which is maddening in itself. If you get what you can get for Khalil Herbert right now is what my point is. Because I don't know what his staying power in the NFL is. He was not a guy I was projecting when I was looking at his profile and dug deep into him multiple times before the season started, that I thought would be doing what he's been doing thus far in the NFL. I don't know how far he can take it. So, Tamian, my sign is Capri Sun. I like that.
It's delicious.
I like
that. I haven't
that.
had Capri Sun in a while.
Me neither. The thing about those, I would used to just they got finished so quickly.
It was over in 10 seconds.
But of the drinks from back in the day, like the Sunny D's and the Capri Suns, and Capri Sun was the best.
Kool-Aid.
Sunny D always made my mouth, like the roof of my mouth, all grainy. I don't know.
Well, because it was like that. It was a weird. It's not orange juice. It's just fake weird stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of food coloring and sugar.
True.
Yeah. Slim astrology aligned for Stafford and Cup. Same chemistry as Tom Brady and Randy Moss. Astrology fantasy is a gamble, just like listening to Matthew Berry.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I've gained a little bit of respect for Matthew Berry over the years for what he does. That's pretty good. That's pretty good chemistry to be compared to, though. They sure as hell look like they've got Brady Moss chemistry right now. That Cooper Kupp is absolutely mauling people right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to go Tom Brady, Randy Moss, but
yeah, but it's looking like the best pairing this year.
Yes.
I mean, Kupp might finish as the wide receiver one.
Might.
Second
to your boy AJ Green because you love him so much.
No, Demetri Felton.
Marcus Brown. Is Ramondre Stevenson worth the look at 12-team PPR? I currently have Chuba, Najee, and Patterson. I mean, he's worth a look, but is that who
are you cutting?
Is that which Patterson is that? Cordarrelle, Jarrett? I'm assuming that's Cordarrelle.
If that's
Cordarrelle, I mean, yeah, Stevenson's Cordarrelle, bro. Dude, we need to get into this. Do we need to get into this?
We don't got time for that.
Fine. About to drop my gloves.
Go ahead, do it.
Hey.
No, but Stevenson, who would you be dropping is the question, Marcus. Like, who's at the end of your bench that you're like, I could do this?
Yeah, I wouldn't be dropping any of the guys that you have, and I wouldn't be
Well,
playing
no.
him over any of the guys that you have. So what's the upside in having Ramondre on your bench?
Yeah, what is the incentive to try to grab him, especially after Damian Harris was questionable all going into the week and then ended up with 18, 19 touches.
Yeah. Yeah. CXK, I spent 5 fab a month ago. Thanks for answering.
For Herbert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
of course, man.
yeah,
No problem.
all right,
But yeah, if you could flip him for a couple picks.
So you spent 5 fab. You didn't even have to invest any draft capital in him. You picked him up for five imaginary bucks, and now you can trade him for a dynasty asset. That means something.
Flip him for a pick. That's a win.
That's absolutely a win. Absolutely.
That's a win. Yeah, a couple third-round pick. Yeah, I agree. The second-round pick for somebody's probably gonna get the hell out of here.
That's too much. Couple of thirds.
Couple thirds, but
yeah, if it's a contender, if a contender, late thirds, so you can be like, yo, all your thirds are gonna be late. Give me 3, something like that. You can try
or
to
one in 2022 and one in 2023, or
something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, CKY, we appreciate you being, or CXK, not CKY. That's a band. CXK, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Hell yeah. And that was five fab bucks well spent. So good job. Slim Reaper.
Smart play.
Cup takes Stafford to breakfast every week, and
I mean,
breakfast,
I hope
lunch, and dinner. Hope it's brunch. Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, getting bougie.
Second dinner, supper.
Yo,
all the things that all that Pippin lists in Fellowship of the Ring.
There you go.
That one scene.
11sis.
Yeah, 11sies.
Yes, sir.
I don't think he knows about second breakfast, Pip.
I need to go and do that.
It's been a while.
I might watch
There's NBA games on tonight that I want to check out.
I might watch the extended cuts just to piss off my girlfriend. She hates it.
It's a Tuesday night. I don't have the ability to push through that on a weeknight, but we'll put it on the back burner. Great movies.
Tamian pick up Hakeem Butler and drop Tyreek Hill. I mean, is Hakeem Butler on a team anymore? Am I missing something? Did he?
It's a little LOL.
Did Hakeem Butler?
No,
no. If I just come on, Tamian, don't do that to me. Don't do that. He JK, bro. Like,
it's a little joke.
Don't. You almost made me look at Roto World. NBC Sports Edge, bro.
John takes everything. Literally.
I'm gullible as hell, dude. Don't do it to me. And don't talk about Josh Gordon either. It's in the ticker. Cordarrelle and I have an open spot.
To pick up Ramondre. Then I mean, sure, yeah. It's just, I mean, speculative ad. I mean, but then who? I'm just curious to know who else is available. I don't know if Dearness Johnson is available, or somebody who you could potentially start this week. I don't think Ramondre is somebody you could, or at least prevent somebody else from playing him.
Right.
Yeah, depending on who's available. Absolutely.
All right, but throw us more questions in the chat, you guys. Come on, let's keep this going.
I mean, if there's not any,
is your dog begging you to take him out for a walk?
Me? He's still napping. It's definitely getting to that. Right. It's definitely getting to that point where I'm getting close to where I need to take the dog out. But if there's any, we could take a few more minutes. I guess I'm trying to think, John, if there's any other waiver priorities who we would suggest for this week.
I mean, we've been over the Browns guys.
We
went over a little bit of the Kadarius Toney fallout.
Right. Jared Patterson is worth a look because of the situation with Antonio Gibson. He's playing through multiple injuries. As far as Ramondre Stevenson, I guess
never listen to me on kicker advice, Slim. I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's why I tell everybody to just.
I did say pick up Boswell.
You did.
I did say pick up Boswell.
And that's why I tell everybody to just outlaw kickers in their league and just move forward with another flex spot. But I'm sorry about that. I try to get you good advice, but kicker advice is not my specialty, and Tamian neither is IDP advice. So I hope that helped, that IDP advice above with the just try to get the 3 points and win out the week But again, not my specialty. Don't hate me if it doesn't come to fruition. But Slim, sorry about the kicker. Sorry about the kicker stuff.
Yeah.
Cardinals D or Miami D this week?
Cardinals. They're playing Houston.
Easy answer. There you go.
And Miami, this is the weirdest. Like, I don't remember the last time a team who played in London didn't automatically have a bye week right after. Like, that's a normal thing. That's every single time, no matter what. When you play in London, you get a bye week the next week. So Miami they go to London, they lose a heartbreaker to an awful Jaguars team, and now they got to come back stateside and play again. I have to imagine they got to be playing at home, right? Like, they got to be like that. You would think the NFL at least does that solid for them. They're at home against Atlanta, but like still, Atlanta's coming off their bye week.
Yeah,
Atlanta's got 14 days off, and Miami's playing on a week. It's not a short week for them, but they had to take a trip across the pond. They had to do a not a cross country, but you know what I'm saying. It's like a 6 hour flight to London and then come back. Crazy time zone difference. My tangent is over. I think it's crazy that Miami didn't get a bye week after playing in London. That's absurd to me. So the Cardinals against Houston, Slim.
Yeah, I mean, I agreed with you from the jump, so I was just letting you go. And since Slim says no more listening to me anyway, I just figured just take it and run with it. Nick the Kicker Whisperer, say that 5 times fast.
I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that.
No. But yeah, I think that's gonna stick though. I think that's gonna stick. You can take all of the kicker questions from here on out. I'm
fine.
Happy to let you take that.
Fine. Boswell had like 13 points, so there you go.
Tamian Baskerov with another question. Thanks for sticking with us this long. I am 2-4 and 3-3, but the 3-3 I started 0-3. See? Hey,
there you go.
Sometimes you just got to stick with it, and better days will
come. It's all about
Any given Sunday, you already know.
Yeah.
Marcus Brown at wide receiver. I have Ridley, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, St. Brown, and Waddle. I was just thinking about trading AJ and Waddle for DJ Moore. Thoughts?
I don't think I would do that.
I would not do that. Nope. AJ Brown's finally healthy.
He came back to life last night. It looked like the Titans, Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, but in spite of that, I think the Titans made it a priority to get AJ involved. They clearly made a point to get him involved, despite the concerns with him coming into the game. Like, all through the first half, he wasn't doing anything. The second half, when they needed him, he came back to life.
Yeah, and your wide receivers look pretty strong. I don't think you need to try to divest yourself of 2 to get.
I like
one.
Waddle a lot.
Yeah.
I like we just got done, John, talking about how we don't like we're kind of down on Devontae Parker, and Will Fuller is still on IR. Has done absolutely nothing to start
he can't
the
play
season.
unless he's PED'd up. That's it. That's just him going forward. Sorry.
So to that point, I really like Waddle rest of season. I like DJ Moore a ton. He's going to be peppered with targets. He's going to get 1 million targets. But I'd rather have those two. I'd rather have
AJ Brown is going to get peppered with targets too, and so is Waddle. So the fact that DJ Moore is getting peppered with targets is not enough for me to sway going that way over either of the other ones. And AJ Brown, again, he's basically back to full strength. So, I'm holding pat. And that looks like a decent wide receiver core. Very good, pretty deep. Slim Reaper, Traquan Smith coming back from IR. Add him or Callaway? I'd be adding Callaway if he's available. I don't think Traquan Smith is anything special.
He's been hurt.
Right.
At least give me the healthy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Callaway.
Seahawks just signed Willie B.
Any given Sunday, man.
Oh, man.
Any given Sunday.
Steam it. Willie Beam it.
Any given Sunday.
No? You don't remember that commercial from the movie?
I don't remember the commercial.
That movie is great. That movie gets a lot of flack for being overdone. Maybe I just love Oliver Stone movies, but I
love
like,
the movie.
I like that movie.
Seahawks could use Willie Beamen.
It's no Joanna Man, but it's close.
Joanna, yeah, okay. That's the one I still haven't seen.
Notorious, what's going on? How you doing? I got
Notorious.
a spicy trade. All right. Let's see it.
Like
Trade
spicy.
away Cousins and Gaskin for Jalen Hurts. Need the 2-for-1 for the roster spot. Is it worth it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Yes.
Yeah, despite the
Cousins,
struggles, Hurts has still been a top 10 quarterback in fantasy.
Yes. And yes. Gaskin, I mean, our thoughts on Gaskin are pretty clear at this point. We're not fans. Cousins is riding what I think was an easy, obviously easy, take that word with a grain of salt with the NFL. A much more favorable schedule to start the year for Cousins. It gets significantly tougher from here on out. And Jalen Hurts just offers an element that Cousins doesn't, running the ball. Absolutely, I take that deal. Yes, it's worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a spicy trade. I'm telling you to accept the spicy trade.
Yeah. CXK rebuilding. A better deep sleeper tight end, dart throw, Trey McKitty, Hunter Long, Brevin Jordan, or Noah Gray. Dynasty
John will
Superflex
spend a
2
half
TE.
hour on
Hey,
this question.
I got a
Superflex 2 tight end.
I'm working
Wow.
I'm working on a tight end deep dive, and I don't think you should go for any of these guys. I'm gonna recommend a deep sleeper for you. Sammy's Reyes from the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, Washington
Has literally and if you bet on this,
the other name.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. Football team, Freudian slip. But y'all know I like.
Caught you.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
Anyway.
For that, though. Thank you for catching.
Anyway,
me
John
on
likes his tight ends. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I want my tight ends to have an RAS above 9. You already know RAS, relative athletic score. If it's above 9, you basically have a chance to be a top 3 tight end perennially. There are like 3 tight ends in recent memory that have been perennial top 10 options that didn't have an RAS of 9 coming into the league, and they're outliers at the position. So I'm trying to chase that RAS above 9 that Gronk has, that Travis Kelce has, that Kittle has, that Hawkinson has, that Njoku has, that Dawson Knox has, those type of guys. And Sammy Reyes has that, and he has the best RAS of anybody ever measured. Better than Kyle Pitts, better than O.J. Howard, who had a really high one back in the day. Literally better than anybody. He measured a 10. And we want guys
Slim to
above
say he's
9.
got the highest grade ever.
Right. It's a 10U, which means it's so high it's technically undefined, so they have no chance, they have no choice but to rate it a 10 out of necessity because they don't have any other metrics to go
He's
by.
just Hercules.
It's technically more. He's a 25-year-old rookie from Chile, Santiago, Chile, and he's part of the NFL's It's a system to get
international development program or
right.
whatever it's called. Yeah.
Right. And I know Logan Thomas, who also had an RAS above 9, is signed there long term now because he just received a contract extension. But he is banged up right now.
How much time is he spending in this?
He went on IR, so more than at least 3 weeks. And that offense is hurting right now. They're looking for options. They're running out Ricky Seals-Jones, and while he's had a hot 2 weeks, if they start throwing Sammy Reyes in there, who was just activated for the first time, I believe, in week 5. If not activated for the first time week 5, activated for the first time week 6. That's the guy that I'm chasing in Dynasty, because even if he doesn't have the blow up weeks soon, chasing a guy with the best athletic measurables at tight end ever is what you were doing with Kyle Pitts. It's just that he was being treated like it the second he walked into the NFL. Sammy Reyes is not. He has to grow into that role, and he is somewhat of a long shot, but that's the dart throw I'm taking at tight end is Sammy's Reyes. It's not Trey McKitty or Hunter Long or Brevin Jordan or Noah Gray. If I had to rank those guys, though, it would probably be, for me, Hunter Long, Trey McKitty, Noah Gray, Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan has an RAS below 4. It's or below 5. It's 4.77 or about that. And 5 is the average. So technically, Brevin Jordan has a below average relative athletic score for the position. So that's absolutely not what I'm looking for, especially on a bad team. Noah Gray, the appeal there comes from the fact that he's playing behind Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. Travis Kelce, 31 years old, right? Isn't he 31? Theoretically should be falling off soon. Theoretically.
Like
we're not projecting that, but
no.
But
He's
that's
32.
why Noah Gray
he just
has
turned
some
32.
appeal, but his RAS isn't great either. Not a guy that I'm chasing. Trey McKitty has a slightly better athletic profile and pretty much just as good a position. And even better a position because he has a chance to start as soon as next season. Because Jared Cook could be gone next season.
Maybe.
And Hunter Long, I like him the most out of those 4 guys because of his profile. But he's playing behind 4 other tight ends right now on the Dolphins. Gesicki, Smythe, Sethan Carter, and Adam Shaheen. You helped me out with Shaheen last week. So he's not a guy, again, that's a short-term option, but you're looking at in Dynasty, so Hunter Long gets the edge there. I do like his profile long-term. But let's move on to something else other than tight ends because rant over, and you'll be getting my longer-form video on tight ends and other prospects to look out for, like Sammy Reyes in that video. But let's move on to Kels's question. Would you rather have Freeman or D. Johnson? Also, how do you feel about Ramondre Stevenson?
Is it David Johnson or Ernest Johnson?
Ernest Johnson and Freeman, I would think is
it's Devontae.
Yeah.
Royce. Is it Royce? Oh, crap. I don't know. Yeah, Kels, we need a little bit more context on the names there.
Yep.
But let's put it this way. If it's like Devontae Freeman or Ernest Johnson for this week, I'd rather have Ernest Johnson.
Yes. Agreed. But let us know for clarification.
Unless Latavius Murray misses the game for Baltimore, but Le'Veon Bell was added to the active roster. Ernest Johnson. Yeah.
Marcus Brown, hey, you're welcome. And sit tight on your squad. Problem. You should be fine.
Yeah, you can hold. That's fine.
And I said in a video that you should be selling high on Cordarrelle Patterson, but not just for any reason. If he holds value for your squad and you continue to utilize him and continue to win with him, then keep him on your squad. But if you have the chance to shake things up a little bit, yes, he would be the guy that I would point to be like, try to shake things up with him first versus anybody who's more solidified, younger at their position. But he's not somebody to trade just to trade. He is a valuable asset for 2021. Mm-hmm. And Joanna, man, Nick, you need to be on that.
I'll work.
I wish we could watch it with you guys. If we could throw it in the live chat and throw it on. But
set up a stream where it's just the movie.
We'll
be in the chat too.
We'd get copyright struck. Yeah.
Okay, we can't do that.
Yeah. But if we could, Marcus, if we could watch it with you, we would. That'd be fun. Tamian, class is over and you have my full attention. I might ask you questions. Hey, do it up.
I could take a couple more. Just FYI, the dog is officially bugging me to go out, so I only got a couple minutes left here.
All right, let's wrap it up with the ones that are in here, and anybody that we have a question that has a question that we can't get to, throw it in the comments. And
throw it in the comments, we'll get to it.
And come back on Saturday. But let's get to a few more of these. Slim Reaper, remember the Titans any given Sunday or Friday night lights? I mean,
remember the Titans.
If you want your heartstrings pulled, you got to go remember the Titans. It's got the better.
Well, yeah.
It's got to go the better actors and everything, but it's also a little bit hokey of a story. Everybody's holding hands at the end. Oh, you're crying.
It is a little.
It's all right. If you want more of a football movie, you're going any given Sunday. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Sammy Reyes, highest grade of any tight end ever. You already know.
Yep.
Drop or keep Knox if Goddard is on the wire. Yo, who else can you drop
Who else
besides
can you
Knox
drop?
for Goddard? Because Goddard's definitely somebody that you should be picking up if he's on the wire, but not for Knox. You shouldn't be dropping Knox.
Right. Knox is on bye, so obviously you need a tight end. But like, yeah, if there's like a wide receiver or running back like 4 or 5 that you can just like get rid of, that's better.
Yeah, and Slim KC says Gray is baby Kelsey. I know that. But
we'll see what he does. He's got time to develop.
And again, long term, Mahomes isn't going anywhere.
No.
But
Kelsey's not going anywhere for at least another 3 years or either.
Yeah. So. And
we could be waiting.
Baby
a little
Kelsey, that implies that Gray has an RAS above 9 like Kelsey and needs to grow into it, and that's just not the case. Gray does not have an RAS anywhere close to Kelsey's. He's not athletically anywhere close to Kelsey. So that's just hyperbole. Tamian Gibson for Marvin Jones? No. Ruggs?
Oh, trying to trade. No.
Both? Sure.
You need a couple.
Yeah, if you got both of those guys, maybe. But even then, Marvin Jones.
Injured. Actually, he said maybe an injured Saquon. That might be. I mean, maybe that.
Yeah, if you can do that.
If you can do that,
David Montgomery.
Yeah.
A CMC.
I would rather have
Saquon. If you can get any of those guys.
Maybe Saquon for Gibson might be good. I'm just a little worried about Gibson from here on out. But
Renfro, Claypool,
no. Yeah, maybe two of those guys or an injured Saquon. Like that makes sense. Sorry, Thomas got one.
Thomas, absolutely. I think Gronk comes back this week, and Julio's perpetually injured.
Oh yeah,
I think you go Gronkowski over Julio for the rest of the season all day if you can play both in the flex, if that's the spot you're looking at. But you go back to Tamian. You were talking about maybe an injured Barkley.
Like, yeah, for Gibson, that makes sense, but I would need a couple of those wide receivers for Gibson, and even then, I'm like, well, I'm not sure. Like, I need to get a running back.
Yeah.
So an injured Barkley, yeah, that sounds good because Saquon should come back. Saquon should come back in a couple of weeks. Gibson might need to be shut down for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So could be bad news on him. Anthony Garcia full PPR start in my flex. Robert Woods or Chuba Hubbard. My running backs are Cordarrelle Patterson, Gibby, Antonio Gibson, and Damian Williams.
Chuba, I mean Robert Woods is kind of back on the prove it train. I feel like Chuba's going to get volume.
Yeah, you got to go Chuba. You got to go
against
Chuba.
The Giants. The Giants are bad. Like, yeah, I would go Chuba. I'll go Chuba.
Yep. And Tamian, hey, sorry, man. We're glad that you tuned in and clicked on our thumbnail. We're glad that we were able to help you out. Sorry we got to cut it short here. But, again, we are live every Tuesday evening at 5:55. The room opens, but 6. And we're, again, every Saturday night at 6:30, right?
I think we do
6:30 or
6:30. Yes, I think it's 6 or 6:30.
6 or 6:30. One of those. Just look out for it that day. We schedule it in advance, so you'll see it on the you'll see it on our channel. And we also every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. we'll be live unless there's a London game going on, in which case we will be live at the end of the London game and up until the 1 o'clock
for however
games.
much time until the 1 p.m. slate.
Yep.
1 p.m. Eastern. So yeah.
And we answer all the questions in the chat regardless of whatever. So come through, chill with us, and
we'll try to anyway.
Hopefully we can help again.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that about does it for this one. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. And I will not be with you guys on Saturday evening. That might be John solo, but I intend to be available Sunday morning for the slate. So I'm gonna call you, even though you're in Vegas and probably gonna be inebriated and wilding out. I will be out of pocket.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you on the live stream.
I'll be out of pocket
some way, somehow, and it's gonna work. It's gonna be fun.
we'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. But anyway, Anthony Garcia, appreciate that. Thank you so much, and thanks again everybody for stopping by. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you this weekend.
Yes, sir. I hope everybody wins, or wins their waiver priorities.
Their waiver claims. Yeah,
whatever.
Like that.
Hey, have a great night, everybody. Thanks.
Have a good one, guys.